Hello, everybody.
Hello.
As you can see, I'm not Aaron. I would like to welcome everyone back to The Forecast, a bi-weekly podcast about everything, games, film, and news, and apparently some other things too, as I've learned. I'm here filling in just as the announcer and the transitioner, so don't expect a whole lot from me, but we've got our regulars here. My name's Caitlin. Let's just go down the list.
Hi, I'm Alex McCausland.
I'm also definitely a regular, Ben Diaz.
I'm Caleb Juno.
I am the husband of the host, Chad McCausland.
And I'm Jake Fetterkyle.
Fantastic. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. I'm sure that we really needed that. What number are we on right now? What is this episode 186? I mean, I feel like we've already done this intro 186 times now.
This could be someone's first episode.
Well, that's fair. For any new viewers, I'm not good at this. Glad to have you. So today's episode, brief housekeeping items. Aaron's not here. Obviously, we've covered that. Just recovering it. We're still moving forward, full steam ahead. It'll be great.
I don't know how we're gonna go on.
I have no particularly exciting news like he normally does right at the beginning. However, I have found out that we will be talking about TV shows this time, and we had not been doing that before, so you can consider that the surprise. Huzzah.
Ooh. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
It looks like we start off with an off-topic segment, and so I'll be running that. It is a top 10 list. However, in this case, it is top 11, and I already have problems.
Because it's 11?
Yeah.
This is going to be
generally. Just skip the middle one.
This is going to be the top 11 best board games. And, because it's 11, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to hear these, and then we're going to decide which one should not be on the list so that we make it the top 10.
Ooh, make it a 10.
Cool,
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. All right,
I like it.
I'm just going to go, we're just going to be scrolling through here, and I'll just give a very brief, I'm not going to read, they wrote a lot for all of these.
You probably just say the name of it. Most
yeah,
of
I'm
us
going
probably
to see
played
if
them.
people know, and then, all right, so
What's
I
that?
would guess.
first on the list, called Scythe. Ever
Scythe.
heard of that
Oh,
one?
yeah.
Good game.
Okay, great,
yeah,
great.
it's very good.
That's
Fantastic.
pretty
played
good. Engine builder.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of combat mixed in there.
It's been on my list to play for a long time.
Oh, why haven't you played it?
Money.
Fair. It does
Also,
say...
It's an
most of my
expensive
board
game.
game friends are not nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh,
not
that's
never.
another
Actually,
good
most of them
reason.
are nearby, but most of them are busy. Sorry, Jake.
That's fine. That's
Gosh.
cool, man. 30 minutes too far. I get it.
I'm
All
sorry,
right,
Jake.
yeah,
What
yeah.
days of the week are you not busy
Look.
after work?
That's not what you said.
All right, so yeah, it does look here. Look at this. Caleb was right on the money. Scythe is an engine-building game. Goal is to set up systems that continue to reap resources as the game progresses.
Like
The
a
game will
train engine,
end.
or-
After a player places their 6th achievement star on the triumph track, and whoever has the most coins wins. It's a game of capitalism.
Basically.
All right, remember, this is a top best board game. Oh, this is the best board games of 2023.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Wow,
Is it
we-
Scythe?
we've
Come
That
out
altered
didn't
this-
come
some
out
things.
this year.
Yeah.
It's
What?
just
That's
as
old
of
game.
2023.
Yeah,
As of
right.
2023, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's nothing.
All
Yeah.
right, fair. Okay, good. Let's move on. Board game number 2. Small World. Heard of that one?
Yeah.
It's the Rise
I've never
of
actually
Rome.
played it.
I think I've played the app version before. I don't remember much about it.
All right, well then in that case, we've got a Why We Love It right here, and I'm excited to read it off for you guys. Imagine a game of Risk set in Middle-earth that didn't take as long to play as rewatching all of the Lord of the Rings films would. That's pretty
Hope
much the
not.
experience of Small World, an area control game filled with elves, dwarves, halflings, and others. The game comes with multiple boards and enough small pieces that it takes 40 minutes to set up initially.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say that was Small World?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I'm hearing so far is it's just Lord of the Rings Risk.
I'm feeling good about the
Yeah.
fact I almost bought this board game a few months back, and I'm feeling better about not purchasing
Not
it.
buying it.
I already have Gloomhaven. I don't need Gloomhaven Part 2.
But does Gloomhaven have a different few versions that offer different arts and tones, like Small World Underground
Frosthaven.
small World of Warcraft.
Jaws of the Line.
Mm.
Jaws of the Lion. Yeah, it kind of
There's
does
no
have
World
that.
of Warcraft though.
True,
Mm.
true.
All right, well, it does look like that is the explanation of this game. There's like a how it's played, but I feel like that's a lot.
Yeah, we don't need to
explain.
know.
know
So we're
that.
gonna
Ta-
skip it.
Tell us
I'm
how
gonna skip
we
on
set it
through.
up, because I'm sure there's a lot of detail for
No.
40 minutes.
We don't need.
40 minutes. Well, they said it's because it has a lot of boards and small pieces, and you can set it up depending on how many people are
Of
playing.
course, a small piece.
Has a lot of
Small
boards
world.
like me. I'm bored
Mhm.
of setting this up.
Yep.
Got it. Wow.
You're bored of board games.
Boom.
Actually, I think setting up Risk is my favorite because my family plays Lord of the Rings Risk. We try to play at least once a year at
Wow.
Christmas. It's a Christmas game. I don't know why this happened.
Hold on.
Is
Side
that-
rants time. Will someone play Risk with me?
No.
I want
Does
to play
anyone
Risk
like Risk?
for my
Why
entire
Risk?
life. I have never played it.
Oh, I'll play
and
it
I have
with
not
wanted
missing
to try
anything.
it for
You're
my
really
whole
not.
life.
Like maybe Risk Legacy
Literally,
would be
growing
interesting
up
enough.
as a child, I would go
Maybe.
over to my friend's house for Thanksgiving, and every
Dang.
time I got there, they'd already be 2 hours into a game of Risk, and I've always want to play it. And they were always like,
You're
"Oh, we
like,
already
man,
That
that
started."
sounds so
want
fun.
to play? Wow.
You're
Wow.
2
Yeah.
hours in. How much longer is it going to take? Oh man, I wish I
Yeah,
could be
right.
doing that.
I literally grew up my entire life just watching people in the middle of a game of Risk, but never getting to play.
Yikes. It sounds like you won, really.
Yeah,
Being honest.
actually.
I think they were all jealous of you, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll be
They're stuck at the
honest.
table playing Risk. You got to go play like Nintendo or something.
Most of the time when
Hey,
we
man,
play
dude.
Lord of the Rings Risk, even if I'm one of the 4 players, I just let my teammate handle it. I like to do the
Mhm.
setup, and then once we get into it, I'm like, but are they gonna find the ring? I sure hope so, because I'm tired. The reason I like Lord of the Rings Risk is because every single turn, the enemy can roll to see if they find the ring. If they find the ring, it's game over.
That
One
does
time
sound
we-
nice.
One time we did
Yeah,
the whole
It has an
setup.
out.
So just every turn, you roll a die to see if the game ends.
Yes,
That's
it's
great.
amazing.
I love
Sounds
that.
awful.
it's
No,
amazing.
dude.
It's
It's like
the-
catching the golden snitch and
Yeah.
Quidditch.
It sounds like Small Worlds. Was
I'd love
Yeah.
to die so that I could just roll one time and then I'm done and I can go do something else.
Yeah, dude, the best part of Risk is when it's over.
Yeah,
It's when you
yeah,
don't have to
exactly.
play anymore.
They really capitulated on that
Yeah,
feeling.
they nailed the core experience.
And I'll be honest, it did happen to us once. We were on turn 3, and the enemy rolled the 6 that was needed to
Hilarious.
find the ring. The ring had not even left the Shire. We
You
had not
said-
moved it.
Wow.
They found it right at the beginning, and they were like, "Wow,
You're like, see you
Awkward.
all next year
yeah, we
for our
just played
Christmas
again."
Risk game.
Is the risk like the risk of somebody inviting you to play the game? Like that?
Mm.
The
Uh.
Risk, to be clear, is not on this list, right? Or is
No.
it?
No, it's not.
Okay, we've talked a
We
lot
just
about
talked-
Risk. It's
I
not on
know,
the
but
top 10 list.
Hey, we're allowed to have tangents,
Rightly
and
so.
I'm now calling this tangent over. Let's move to number 3. Number 3 is called.
What? Uh-oh.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah.
Number 3 is called Wavelength. If anyone heard-
Why?
Wavelength?
What's that
Why
so
was that
familiar?
No,
familiar?
it was funny because I thought Chad was laughing at me.
Oh.
I was laughing at you.
Oh,
Sounds
see.
familiar.
Yeah. Okay, so
You're
Wavelength,
just like,
We
okay,
played it.
you could
hand
play.
it over.
Have we?
This is an up to 12-person game, but it only lasts 30
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
This is my kind of game.
We play the app version.
Oh, it's
Yep.
a party game. All right, it's okay. It's a party. The box is colorful. That's always a good thing. There's a big dial. That's great.
There's a
If you
really
want a
good
quick
version.
description.
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah, there's an app version which is really nice. But the gist of it is one person gets a prompt. For instance, I don't know. We'll just say like T is the prompt they get.
The letter
That's
T?
not how it works. Sorry, they get a gauge. They get a gauge
Okay.
with two
Not a
sides.
prompt. Okay.
Let's say they get hot and cold, and then they have to choose. They get a point on the gauge that they need to get everyone to guess, and they have to give a clue to get everybody to choose that point on the
Wait,
gauge.
I
So,
played
for
this game.
instance, if you wanted something really hot, you could say like T.
Yeah. I
We
Chad,
played
we
this
played
before,
this
yeah.
game together. Who have I played this game with,
There-
Chad?
Us. I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe yes.
It was
There
very
is
memorable,
a
apparently.
example that they give, and it's Darth Vader, wizard or not a wizard?
Yeah, so the
Halfway.
gauge is wizard and not a
Obviously,
wizard.
About 80%
Mm.
wizard.
And your clue is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And then
This-
everybody would put like where they think on the gauge that falls.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I love this and I want to play it again. I forgot it existed. This is great. All
All
right,
fun
this
party
is
game.
easily, just so you guys know, this is staying on the list for me. Like, this one is not getting, no matter what else
I'd
shows
keep it
up,
on the list.
this one's staying on the list.
Because it's a free app, it's a great game for just while you're traveling with people.
Mhm.
Mhm.
A lot of fun.
Somebody whips out Cards Against Humanity, and you're like, no, let's play Wavelength.
Yeah. let's play anything else. That's the answer there.
Yeah.
Except Risk.
It's on.
All right. What are we on? 4. Anomia. I've heard of this one.
I've not heard this one.
Oh, really? Wow. Now I can't explain it. I just know the name. There's also a picture. I get to see a picture of it, and I'm like, I do know this
That
box.
must be nice for you.
Yes, it is. It's
The
very
box-
nice.
The box
Nice.
is just the name of the game.
Yeah, the box
is.
is very
It's just a
helpful if
blue
you don't
box.
know.
But it's the
The name of the
shape of the
game.
box and the cards around it.
What's the shape of the box?
Box shaped.
I
Wild
see that's
circle.
helpful. Yeah. There's probably
Okay.
at least one circular board game box.
All right,
For
so
sure.
this is a
I own
card.
one.
It's a card deck game. I don't know all the genres. I'm just making this up as I
A
go.
card deck game.
Yep.
That's
And
one. It's one of the
what
top.
That's
you
actually the
pick-
technical term.
You pick one of the decks, and then you flip a card, and then each of the card. Oh yeah. Oh, I know this game. Each card has one of 6 colored symbols and a category. Categories can be all sorts of things. They're really broad and can lead to debate. They do lead to debate. Do sea monkeys count as pets? That kind of thing.
No.
And then gameplay
No?
will. So what you do is if you get a card.
And we're playing the game.
If you get cards that match, then you get into a face off, and you have to come up with something in the category first, and then you get the point. And that's kind of how you do it. It's like
It
a little.
sounds
It's
very similar to Super Fight.
a super fight.
Oh yeah.
Tell us more.
Super fun.
Super Fight is literally it's just a big deck of cards that's got like fictional or real characters on it, and 2 people flip cards up, and then you argue about who would win in a fight. That's the whole game.
And
How
can you use
I've
the
played all these games.
can you
I
use the
played-
correct term for that genre of game, Ben? It's a
It's
deck
a-
card
I'm
game.
sorry, it's
It's a card-
it's a card deck
It's-
game.
Card deck. Excuse
Card
me.
deck game. What?
I think that's what she said. I don't know.
It is. It is. All right. I like that one. I think that should stay on the list. All right. The other 3, I didn't even know those. So
Big bias.
There's a name like this, or a game like that. We'll not get into it. Never mind.
well, if you think
It is
about
not
it.
worth
If you
it.
think of it, you
Not
tell
worth
me.
it.
If you have
Decide.
something to actually
This-
say, feel free to say it.
No,
I feel like there's
Not
like a
worth
bunch
it.
of games that are very similar to that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Yeah,
but
but the real question
Card
is,
deck
again,
games?
then it comes down to
Yeah.
packaging,
Card deck
presentation,
games.
memorability, right? I
Mm.
remembered Anomia as soon as I saw the box. I don't know
as
why that
soon as I-
happened,
box.
but
The blue box with the name Anomia on it.
And it was box shaped.
Mhm. It stands out.
look, I can say that at least episode 186 will have lots of laughing. I don't know how
That's
technical
true.
we'll get. I don't know how useful this will be to our viewers. My apologies. That's my fault.
We always strive to be very useful. That's our
Yeah.
primary.
Well, I
Yeah.
know you seem informative when I listen. All right, number
You listen to
5.
the wrong parts.
Number 5. We're gonna breeze through the rest of them, so hopefully you guys all just
Great.
know these, so we
Yeah,
don't
we'll
have to
cruise.
explain them. Okay, number
We'll
5.
see.
Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Yeah,
Third
no,
Oh
edition.
yeah,
choice.
man. That
Good
better
choice.
be on the
All
list.
right, everybody likes that
is
one.
a good game.
So good.
Good. The picture shows some dice, a small man, some
Is there a box?
square-shaped cards.
Dice?
No.
How do you know
A
he's
board
nice?
game with dice? Are you kidding me?
Is it a
Blowing
board
my
game or a
mind.
dice game?
Oh, and
Pick a
each of
lane.
these
a
If
dice
you roll
tiles?
6, does the
It's
game
a
end?
dice board game.
This looks like some sort of survival game.
Have you never played Betrayal with us?
I think I have. You
You
try to
surely
survive, right?
have.
'Cause
Yeah, you explore a haunted house essentially,
right, because the
trying
term
to survive,
betrayal,
and then somebody turns into a traitor.
right,
and tries
implies
to usually true.
death or murder
love-
or
They
Not.
describe it as if Lovecraft wrote a
Oh,
Scooby-Doo episode.
That
Not a bad
feels
description.
about
not,
right.
yeah, I like
yeah.
that. Yep, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Somebody
That's-
quote it, and
that's
that's
clever.
the official. Put it on the box, which I don't have a picture of.
But that is probably
Swear.
box shaped.
Yeah,
Mhm.
probably.
We'll never know.
Number 6, Mysterium.
You're the
Mm.
one that knows.
Oh,
I'm
Sorry,
sure
hold
it's
on.
numbers.
They don't have numbers.
Mysterium's
Just keep track
fine.
yourself. Got it.
Mysterium's very fun. I like Mysterium.
Mysterium's good. Yeah.
It's good. It's good
enjoyed
if
it.
you're playing with. I feel like it's a good one for people who aren't so into board games. Like Betrayal can be rough for people without a lot of board game experience.
Yeah.
I played this with my parents probably about a month ago, and they liked it a lot. It worked
Hmm.
pretty well.
Nice.
Ooh, I have not played this, but I like the concept of somebody being a ghost.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the biggest confusion my
Boo.
parents had was the point system where you have to you move your dial over, and they were like, "How do I get more?" And I was running the game. I was the hint giver, and I was just like, you just guess things. I'll just move your toe. It's fine. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, I mean that system I don't think works very well.
It's definitely the worst part of the game.
Yeah, it's
it
weird.
feels very vestigial.
So
like
would you
could cut it
say-
out entirely.
Digital.
Would you say that with the system being
SAT word.
esoteric, that the age group designation for this game is 10 and up? You think 10-year-olds can figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I don't.
I mean,
guess
it might
I'm-
be a little tough, but I mean,
It's
I
really
think a
just
10-year-old could handle
the
it.
point
Yeah.
system isn't that important until the last minute, and it's not super. It's basically just the quicker you get the guesses, the better you do by the end.
Mhm.
Like as long as
Mhm.
someone understands that system. But even if you don't understand it, just keep playing. Just play it through to the end, and who cares who
Yeah.
who wins?
Like, who cares about
Yeah.
the points? Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Alright,
Like
well,
you still someone
Points don't
will
matter.
get it all the way through first. You know what I mean?
It's
Like someone will still
primarily a
obviously
co-op.
win. Yeah.
Well, I do.
Is that a cow?
It was
Wait,
a
no,
car
No,
sound.
that's a motorcycle
Okay.
outside.
How
Sorry.
exciting!
There's a street right there.
cow.
It'd be even
It
more
sounded
exciting
like
if
a
there
moo.
wasn't a street.
It did.
Thank you, Chad.
All right, so that was number 6. I think if I even though I haven't played this one, I think I'm leaning towards, as we listen to all of these, I like games that involve human interaction as the primary objective of the game. So
Oh,
people that have to when you
you're
have
one
to
of
interact
them Amogus peeps.
Among
yeah,
Us.
yeah, I guess that would yes. I did like that game.
Mungus.
Sussy baka.
Oh my god. Moving on to what I think is number 7. Pandemic Legacy Season 1.
Ooh.
Be good.
Mm,
Never tried it.
yeah, I've
Haven't
never
played it.
played it.
Never played it
So I
once.
don't know what it's
Never
like.
once.
I thought
Played
you
it.
Wow.
played that one, Caleb.
Sounds good though.
He never did.
Never.
Sounds
Not
easy
once.
to
Admits but
follow.
didn't.
Yeah.
Hard to screw up.
The article calls it an amazing step up for people who love classic Pandemic but want more of both a plot and a challenge.
Hmm.
Man, that's a
Interesting.
classic podcast joke.
That everyone knows.
Yeah.
People do rave about how good it is. And Base Pandemic's excellent.
Oh wait, are you talking about Pandemic or the joke? Because I thought you meant the joke.
No.
And this has gotten so
Pandemic.
meta.
Yeah, it has.
I'm lost, but that's fine.
It's fine. I am too, Caitlin.
I'm
Okay,
way in the
great.
weeds.
The joke
We
is-
lost together.
Me, Caleb, and Jake tried playing Pandemic Legacy.
Twice.
Yeah, and messed it up so bad. Like we had to restart the entire, and to the point where we're like, I don't even know how we restart this.
Like
Legacy
we did the
game,
rules
'cause we've done
so wrong.
We've done the
So
legacy
wrong.
part wrong at this point. We have to
Mhm.
re-stick things back where they go and stuff. I don't know. And
The
then
one,
we just gave
the
up.
one game we won and we lost, but we definitely should have won. I think.
Yeah.
if I remember.
we
right. But-
lost and then figured out that we read the rule wrong and went, oh well, we should have won 5 turns ago.
Yeah.
We basically already won.
And then there was a big
There's, no
card
way
that was
back
like,
then.
stop until this thing happens. And that thing definitely happened a
And we
long
just
time
kept
ago.
going.
God, we're a absolute
really-
So
disaster.
smart.
Yeah, it sounds like we're having instructions.
It's
well,
us,
okay,
it's
so
us problems for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
so it
But
says
then the
that
joke became we never even saw
Yeah.
played that game before.
Never
'Cause
tried it.
we would never mess up something up that bad.
That bad.
Twice.
twice no less.
It's okay.
Oh, no.
Most
Well,
of that group moved across the country, so
I know
It's
that
like
I
it
wouldn't
never
play this game
happened.
because the game says it takes place across 12 to 24 sessions, and I
It
have
does.
yet to succeed past 3 sessions of anything. So that
It's
includes
basically
our
It's basically you do this instead of a D&D group.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the D&D group thing that's rough.
Fair.
Anyway, all right. Next up, number 8.
I want to say you're right, but I don't
I
know
wanna
for
say
sure.
I'm right.
probably.
Well, in the recording, we'll know. Anyway,
True.
Star Wars Outer Rim
No idea.
keep getting progressively
I-
more expensive.
What?
More expensive than Scythe already?
Scythe was 65 at the time of
Oh,
publication.
wow.
This one is 75.
Wow.
Wow.
All right, so
Yeah,
let's.
Star Wars board game?
I
I don't
thought,
know.
I'm gonna be honest.
I
I
don't
thought
know.
I had heard of all the Star Wars board games, not played them, but at least heard of them all. Don't know this one.
Well, as the name implies, the board is circle shaped, but just a ring.
Mm.
Shape is the box.
I don't. There's
outer
no
rim,
picture.
if you will.
Box. There are
Mm.
cards. and
Outer
little figurines. All right, so let's see here. Set in the original trilogy era of Star Wars, Outer Rim lets you play as a smuggler, a scoundrel, or a bounty hunter, or all three, as you travel between various wretched hives of scum and villainy in search of fame capitalized.
That's the quote.
Apparently, so I guess players are, against each other, but fame is not zero sum, so you can be cooperative if you want to. That sounds fun. I don't know anything about Star Wars really, so I feel like I would play, but the point of it being Star Wars would be lost on me. It could have just been anything. I feel that way about a lot of games that are built on existing universes other than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. There's a lot that definitely don't need to be themed, but are.
All right. Not heard a great
Indeed.
response on that one, so let's just move on.
None of us know it, I don't think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, this one's currently feels like top contender to be out. All right, okay. Next up, perhaps number 9, Sherlock Holmes, consulting
Perhaps.
detective, the Thames murders
Oh.
and other cases.
I've
This
always wanted to
looks
try that.
This looks cool.
I haven't heard of it.
Anything it's like, I assume it's like a mystery puzzle solving game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I understand about it. It's like it's got like a whole story, and you try to figure out the clues and put together the murder
Is
and
it like
stuff.
those little escape room in a box things? Or
Looks like it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
somewhat.
What sounds
Get a
like.
map, a directory, a newspaper, a casebook, a short list of contacts to fall back on. Anything you might need to be a detective in the whatever time frame he lived in. 1800s. Who knows? I don't even know. And I read the whole Sherlock Holmes books, all of them, or
I'm
whatever.
not sure he was real.
He wasn't, but I mean the concept.
He was set in a time period, though.
Yeah, you're right. There
That's
was
true.
a time period.
He did exist in time.
All right. And then what's next? I'm going to butcher this name. The Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Love
What
it.
It's
This
a-
is my
I've
favorite.
never heard of that.
I
It's
don't
a
know, but I
duck
want to put
game.
it. I want to keep it in the list just for the name.
Duck game.
Okay, so it's a gambling game. It's not turn-based.
Oh.
I love that. I love when games like have all the players just do whatever they want whenever they want it. You're taking on the role of snake oil salespeople, the Quacks, and it looks like you're gonna create your elixirs, and you're gonna try not to draw cherry bomb tokens because that'll blow up your cauldron.
And you don't want to do that.
Correct. And then if you make money during the potion making process, then you can buy more ingredients.
Snake oil is a potion. Okay.
And then
Seems
whoever
like
has
a-
the most points at the end wins. Okay, this seems not like I was expecting, based on it heavily caring about you being a snake oil salesman. I thought you'd really be trying to sell things, but
Sounds like a push your luck
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
Not big
Well-
on those usually.
Yeah, all right, this one's now taken my top shove it out of the
Despite
list.
the name.
No, correct.
Good name.
Despite the name, I do like the name, though. All right, how many we got left? All right, okay, so wait, I think I had this right.
That was 10. This is 11.
Yeah.
No, we still have more than that. Maybe
Well,
they,
the next one's 11.
I think
What?
we have 3 left.
What number are we on? I, feel
I
like
don't know.
we've
There were no
done so
numbers.
many.
All right. Okay. Has anyone? We'll do it this way. I'll give you the remaining, and we'll talk. We'll only talk about ones we
I just
don't
realized-
already know.
There's
Hmm.
nowhere on this page that says top 11.
Look, who gave me this link? I didn't pick
We'll
this
just
link.
keep scrolling.
Who could have done that? Who
Is
gave
this
you
one of those
that
ones
link?
that expands when you get to the bottom?
No,
No.
there's only
It's
like
there's only
there's-
3 more.
There's 13
like-
on this page.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
13. Well, that's great because now we can pick more than one to remove.
Oh my god.
Okay, so the remaining number there are Cathedral, there
I don't know
is
what that is.
Sagrada, and there is
I do know what that is.
Wingspan.
Ooh, Wingspan's a good
Oh.
one.
Okay, everybody know
Wingspan's good.
Wingspan?
I've been meaning to
Yeah.
try Wingspan. I've heard
Okay.
it's very good.
All right,
Solid
so
game.
Wingspan's really good. I find it odd that they have this on here alongside Scythe,
why?
because they're both engine builders. They're both made by the same company. I feel like they would have just put one or the other.
Yeah.
Maybe they like both.
I should have bought this a while ago.
Well, I could say that Wingspan looks a lot more beautiful, and I would pick it over Scythe just
It
for
is
that.
pretty famous for how good its art is.
It's got a whole birdhouse. It's
yeah.
about birds.
What?
This is
It's
my
kind of
number
all
one.
Wow.
about the birds.
I mean,
What?
It's called
Wingspan.
Wingspan. Like,
I don't want to
for
talk
sure.
about that. All right. So then, Sagrada. Has anybody heard of Sagrada?
I have heard of it.
It's a stained glass game.
Stained
I
glass.
don't believe I've played it. Weirdly, I have played a different stained glass game, but not this one.
This seems like one of those situations where it's weird that there's more than one, so you have two nickels, and that's
Is
just
this-
odd.
You also have
Situation.
one back.
Is this not made by the same people that made the tile game? What's that one called?
Azul.
Azul.
That's what I'm thinking of. I've played Azul.
The tile game.
The tile game. Well,
yeah,
that worked.
that's the one.
Hey, we got
It
it,
worked,
didn't
right?
we?
I mean,
Azul's
sure,
great.
I guess.
If it's made by the people who made Azul, it's probably good. I mean, I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and the design seems very similar in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's beautiful, so it stays on my list.
Alright.
And then, yeah, so Cathedral. People heard of that one?
No.
I'm familiar with the building.
It's a two-player strategic area control game that will remind some people of Go. And it shares
Oh.
aspects of
It
Blockus.
Remind some people of Go.
But not others.
Intriguing, yeah.
Good point.
It's
good
not
point.
pretty
like
cool.
Go, but some people think it is.
It's a territory capture two-player game.
It's
That seems
two-player
fine.
Risk.
Sign me up.
Well,
Like
it's
to
only
make Liz
20
play
minutes.
it with me.
Oh, it's only 20 minutes. That is way shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've done
I've
our
been-
announcements of
I've
all
been
of
trying to
these.
find a good alternative to chess, so I might pick that up and take a look.
Mm.
And so now, the last point of this, I mean, we don't have to do this part. I thought it'd be fun, but now there's 13. That seems like a lot. We have 3 to get rid of.
There's
So I
also
think we
like
should
at
just-
least 3 we don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
I think we should just,
All right,
everybody
so
should
just chuck
pick
all
their...
the ones we don't know and then move on.
All right, well, that makes it easy.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right, so the
Facts of
moral of the story
Lumberg.
is, viewers, if we haven't heard of a game, it must not be that good.
It's
Exactly.
bad.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
probably
know.
bad if we don't know about it.
Yeah.
How do we
this-
rate this list?
Yeah, this list is terrible. There's no Gloomhaven on
It's
it.
not very good.
It wasn't even numbered, and there were 13 of them. It's
So-
terrible.
I
Bad
just
list.
noticed that these are split into categories.
Correct.
Oh.
The one is like beautifully designed and fun to play that has 1, 2, 3 in it,
I
4 in
missed
it,
that.
and then there's like expansive continuous adventure that has 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, and then strategies, party starters. Now I understand why things were next to each
Yeah,
So
that
other.
kinda
now what
broke
we
it
need
up
to
into
do is we need
categories.
to break it down
Mm.
and choose the best
We
out
don't.
of each
Too
category.
Too busy.
No.
Well, we
Moving
got
on.
these other things to talk about.
3 out of
Guys,
10.
I've got color coding.
Honestly, it's not even really a top list. It's just kind of a list of good ones. So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe we just call this one a wash.
I
It
think
says the best board games. These are
I'll
the
give it a-
best board
I'll
games.
give it a 5 out of 10. I'll be
5,
generous.
that's generous.
wow, I'm
yeah.
giving it a
Yeah.
1 out of 10.
It did have
Well, we're
some
trying to
good
give it
games on
concessions about how it's not really supposed to be a top 10 list or whatever.
Nope.
Okay, in that case, I'll
It
give
did
it a
ha-
4.
It did have some good
4.
stuff on it. I'll say 4.
Nope, I'm giving it a
It
1.
had some good stuff on it. It
1.
was missing
Jeez,
a lot
we've
of good
not done a
stuff.
1, I don't think.
Monopoly wasn't on it.
We've
That
not.
was 1.
Yeah,
We've
if
not had a
Monopoly
1
was
out of
on it,
10.
It would be a 1.
I give this a 1 out of 10 because it has nothing to do with what's on the list. The list was advertised as a top XYZ number. The
Oh, is
number
it?
was wrong. It wasn't a top list. Things were put into categories no one was expecting. The
Mhm.
title
Wait.
of the
I want to
link...
stress that the advertising of this is a top 11 game list is nowhere on this page. I just apparently thought it said that and verbally told you
No,
guys.
Well,
there
that.
must have, no,
what
you know,
the hell?
wait,
Where-
hold on,
Well,
hold
Ben's
on,
fault.
hold on.
Gosh.
Here's the
Oh,
rub
actually,
for me.
No,
At
you're
the
right.
top on the meta URL
tab.
says 11 best board games. The article name
does
is
say that.
best board
Yeah,
games.
the
They
tab says
updated
11
it when
best
they
board
found
games.
But
Yeah,
the
that's where you
URL
saw that.
just
I'm not
says
crazy.
board games
Excellent.
we love. So
And the previous version of the list must have 11.
Hmm.
And
Wait,
they just haven't
and
changed
so
that.
let me say something now. It says FYI right at the beginning. We've added Wavelength, a party game, and Clacks of whatever, how you ever say that.
Woodland.
So they added 2 games
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
the list
0
of
out
the
of 10.
original 11 top. Where do you guys see
So
the
if you-
11? I don't see that at all.
Look
Anyway,
at
It's-
the
it's
look at the
the
name of the
URL.
tab.
The name of the tab.
oh my gosh.
see, so this is why it's a 1 out of 10 because this is an old list.
Misleading.
This is
You lose
completely
at least-
misleading.
You
all
at least
false
lose a point for bad coding.
Mhm.
Come
I
on,
don't
fix your
think-
HTML.
I just anyway.
This is basic.
Viewers,
love
I
board
feel like you
games.
should still check out these games that we've talked about,
Mhm.
regardless of how bad the list
Should I
was.
drop forward lower? I was trying
3.
I was trying to consensus because I said 5. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 seems.
I'm fine with 3.
I say 3.
It was
Fine.
a fine list, but they fucked up too much.
I say
Yeah,
11. I say 11.
no.
11 out of 10?
11 out of 100, actually.
Well, it doesn't have to be out of 10. I mean, the coding's
Yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah.
wrong on my
You're
scale.
right, honestly.
Like 11 out of 33. So
Yeah, if they're not going to
Like
follow the
any-
rules, why should we?
hmm
All right. Well, that
Speaking of not
ends my
following the rules.
segment. I probably have nothing else to say. Well, I mean,
Cat.
I'll say some things.
Cat.
What?
There's
Cat.
a cat.
The cat sighting.
There's a cat behind me. Behind me.
not your cat.
Oh,
Ben's
Ben's
cat.
cat.
But there's
Oh.
also
Well,
a
she's
cat
left.
directly behind your head.
Audio listeners, there's a cat.
there is a cat.
Yes.
There was another
aware?
cat. There's
Cat
at least
alerts?
2.
There were 2 cats.
All right.
The
8:04
third one might
p.m.
show up later.
Cat sighting. Let's
No, it's 9:04.
Oh,
No.
depends
The
where
cat's
you
in Eastern
are.
time, so that's valid.
The cat sighting was here, so
Oh, fair. Okay. 9:04 p.m. We'll rewrite 9:04 p.m. cat sighting. That's
You know, time zones are pretty controversial.
let's
You know
talk
what
about
else is
that for an hour.
controversial?
Would you like to talk about that for an hour, or can we transition to the news section?
That's what he was doing. Because it's a controversy.
You know what else is controversial?
This conversation.
So the video game awards are coming up.
Are you gonna let me do the transitions, or are you gonna just do it?
Oh, you can
Yeah,
do
you
it.
know,
All right,
50-50.
we'll back
up.
Go for it.
Here's our transition into the news section, which, based on my color coding, is Jake.
Oh my gosh, yes. So the video game awards are coming up. And one of the nominees has raised some eyebrows. Dave the Diver is in there for Best Indie Game. And there's a lot of people claiming that it is not actually an indie game because it was made by Mini Rocket, which is a small group, but they're a part of Nexon, which is a really big
Oh,
publisher.
Yeah. Nexon's huge.
So
Oh.
it's like, is it an indie because it's a small team and it looks and plays like an indie game, but it's obviously coming from like a lot of money. So it's like, what does indie mean? And I wasn't sure. I thought it was just really interesting because I didn't know about that. I always kind of just assumed that it was like it was an indie game because it
Yeah.
looks and plays like it.
Well, I think by definition it's probably not, since an indie game's like independently made, and if it doesn't sound like they're very independent if they're owned by another company.
I have a question.
Mhm.
When you say independent, does that mean like low budget? Like, does independent and low budget correlate there, or does it just mean that, like, what if Mini Rocket just had full creative license to do whatever they wanted, even though they're owned by a larger group? Does that still count as independent?
I would say no.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the controversy, right?
I would say if they're getting
feel like
funding
no.
from a large company, I don't think it should count.
Because this article I have up here also points out that Journey, that game company, is tied to Annapurna Games and PlayStation. So are they independent?
Yeah, is everything Annapurna publishes not independent because it's got a big publisher behind it?
But then,
It's
like,
not an indie game.
Wait, is Annapurna owned
Well,
by PlayStation?
no. But all of that game
Who-
company's games are PlayStation exclusive, so presumably there's some relationship there, is what this is at least
Oh.
suggesting. I
Well,
don't
how-
really
Yeah,
know
There's
that.
How
still
big
like an
does
indie dev though, right?
I would say, how big does a dev have to get to no longer be indie?
It's a great question, because look at Devolver. Devolver
Yeah.
publishes a bunch of games. All of those are undeniably indie. But Devolver is publishing them. They have a publisher. They're not
Mhm.
fully
They've been
independent.
doing. They're kind of famous,
And I
popular
don't-
enough, famous enough at this point. Like, are they still making indie games, or are they just Devolver games now?
That was my question.
I don't
actually.
think the publisher should matter.
Yeah, I
That's fair.
tend to agree.
This dev being an actual part of Nexon though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Is where it
that
gets
is a really
murky.
good point. Yeah, because it's not just, it's getting published by Nexon. It's
It's
the
not
people
like
who made this are employed by Nexon.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because like usually indie developers will search out a publisher to help with end of
Costs.
development stuff like distribution,
Mm-hmm.
advertising.
There was
Yeah.
a chunk of time where
That's a good
Xbox had like a indie program where they published a
Yeah.
whole bunch of games made by really tiny studios.
Mhm.
And I would consider all of those still indie.
Okay, so the publisher doesn't matter. I'm fine with that.
I would
Yeah.
call Dave the Diver indie if it was confirmed that they, in fact, did have like a very small team and budget, like akin to a regular indie developer.
Mm.
Like if they were limited, like you guys were given this little section over here to go try to experiment with your Dave the Diver stuff, and it's not like it's being fully backed by the company.
So I'm curious.
Yeah.
By that, well, okay, maybe it's not the same, but I was going to say, by that definition, would you consider Portal 1 to have been an indie game? Since they were just kind of given a
Small
little bit of
team.
money and small team and said, go fuck around and see what you can do.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's interesting.
But then you also got
'Cause
like
the
his
company
money.
they work for,
Does money
not
really
well.
matter? Like, what happens if tomorrow I win the lottery and decide to quit my job and develop a game and publish it? I got a ton of money I put into this game because I won the lottery, but it's just
Mhm.
me.
Yeah, I don't know. What's a
A lot
double
of hard
A?
questions.
Because that's been a thing, or not, a double I, I should say, or
Oh,
triple
yeah,
I.
double. Yeah.
Those things have been popping up recently.
Yeah,
that,
sure.
like, indie games with lots of money.
That's
in
what
them?
people have been
Basically.
like calling Devolver, I think, a lot lately.
That's fair.
Triple I
Or
stuff.
like I think Hades was considered like
I was gonna
double
say
or triple I.
Hades,
yeah, Supergiant
obviously
not really
independent.
much of an
but
indie studio anymore.
yes, they're
There's-
pretty small still.
There's triple I now.
It's like an indie game that has like the production value of
Right.
what you'd expect from like a triple A developer.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
hard to really quantify. I feel like it probably needs to just be case by case.
Yeah. Yeah, according to Google, Supergiant has 23 employees.
Wow.
Interestingly,
Not that many.
fun fact, if you actually look on the Wikipedia page for indie game, they have 5 games here listed as controversial, one of which is Dave the Diver, and they also mention Journey.
Oh,
The other,
nice.
ones, the other ones they mention are No Man's Sky, The Witness, and Bastion.
Interesting.
No Man's Sky. Because it
There's-
got so much funding.
But
Yeah.
Bastion was apparently developed by Supergiant Games, but it was
Mhm.
published by Warner Brothers Entertainment.
Mm.
Is Star Citizen an indie game?
It starts
It's not
in
out
the
yet,
game.
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
Is-
It's not real.
Is Starfield an indie game?
Sure
Absolutely
feels like it. Got him.
Doesn't feel as good as most of the
Hey.
indie games I play.
Rude.
Oh my lord.
The Witness. The only reason The Witness is on here as a possible not indie game or indie game is because he priced it at $40.
Oh,
That's it.
That
a
is
stupid
not
reason. That's nothing.
relevant.
They're just like $40 is more expensive
Consideration.
than an indie game, so maybe this isn't an indie game.
I can't argue with that, I guess.
Well, it sounds like there is quite a lot of controversy about this.
Mm.
Thank you for bringing this topic to the table for us to discuss.
Of course.
In my classic Caitlin inability to transition fashion, let's move into film.
Nice.
It looks like. Wait, do we go in the order that's listed right here?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
fantastic. It looks like, Jake, you're up again.
I am up again.
Please tell us
so
more.
There's a new Netflix series, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Takes Off? Is that it?
Takes
I
off.
think it
You
does.
got
Yeah.
it.
That's it. I'm only like 3 episodes in. I was tardy to this party. But man, it's really freaking good.
Really good. The fact that
I-
they got the entire voice cast from the show back,
Yeah.
insane.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
that's cool.
And they're
From
all
the movie.
so big
Yeah.
now.
Chris Evans was in it, and so he's back. Brie Larson,
Mm-hmm.
Aubrey
who's-
Plaza.
huge
Aubrey
Aubrey Plaza. Michael Cera, although Michael Cera was big at the time.
Yeah.
And he's also not in
He's not that big anymore, I don't feel like.
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of. I don't know.
I feel like
He's
this got to
certainly
be
hit a
like
peak.
early career fond memories. Like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
Is he
So-
like?
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 episodes. Is he actually not in it that much?
Gosh, who
Not in it
knows?
that much.
Okay.
There's
Who
no
knows?
way of
How much have
knowing.
you seen, Caleb?
Is this animated?
I've seen all of it.
It's
Okay.
animated.
It is
Okay,
animated, yeah. And it is produced in Japan, like actually
Because I
anime, proper anime animated.
the entire second episode, I was waiting for him to come back, and he just didn't. So
For anyone who's like, oh man, I love Scott Pilgrim, I can't wait to see like a faithful adaptation of the source material. Don't expect that. If you really want to see the book come to life, you will be upset. But if you want a really fun, really interesting take on the source material, I suppose,
Yeah.
it's great. Like, what I love about Scott Pilgrim, because it has taken a lot of iterations. Obviously, it was a graphic novel at first, then there was a movie. There's a video game, which admittedly I didn't finish because it was just like a side-scroller beat 'em up. I didn't get the impression that it did anything interesting. But now there's this animated series, and each one tackles it in like a different way, and to me brings out different interesting things about the source material, and they all just fucking nail it. Like, they're all so good, and they're all kind of a unique experience, which I think is kind of unheard of. Like, I can't think of another property that has pulled that off. Like, I know Promised Neverland Season 2 did that, and everyone hated it. So it's a big risk, but
I've not read the graphic novels.
Oh man.
But between watching the movie and watching the show, there's so many things you can pick up on, just little nods to the show or to the movie everywhere in the show, even though it doesn't really follow a similar storyline.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you should definitely check out the graphic novels. They're really good.
I need to, yeah.
There's a hardcover version in color that's very nice. The original, they were in black and white.
Episode 1's pretty close to the movie, I think.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Episode 1's on the money.
It was like same like dialogue lines and everything. I was like, they're just doing the movie? Okay.
Yep.
That's kind of cool. They do a lot of really cool stuff with the animation, is what I'd call out.
Yes.
As being like a really high bar for this thing.
Yeah, a lot of things that are really hard to do in live action, right? That they can pull off really easily.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've all convinced me.
It's great.
I've only seen the movie, now I'm going to have to go do all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Including
the
show.
show's it's not very long, right? It's only like 8 episodes.
It's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
How long are the episodes?
25 minutes?
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
like a regular,
right.
like an anime level.
Yeah, like an anime.
All right.
Also,
adding it to my list.
I love the opening song. It's great. It fits the show perfectly.
How much do you love it?
Very much.
Out of 10.
That's funny.
Out of 33.
I was just watching the intro, and it's like all the names that you talked about coming back to the show. No idea that they were coming back for it. So just watching the opening credits and seeing all those names pop up, I was like, oh,
wow.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, they got them all, man.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I was like, because like Kim, I heard Kim's voice. I'm like, there's no way that's the same girl. Google it, same girl.
Yeah.
I felt that way while watching The Bear, and on a couple of the episodes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this person's in here now. Okay.
The Bear season 2 definitely does that.
Speaking of season 2.
I was just about to say, I feel like I was waiting for that nice collective pause, and there it was. It looks like we have a different person up next to speak and give us information on 2 different things. Alex, why don't you take it away?
Have you not watched any of this, Caleb?
Is that you muting yourself there?
I've watched 3 episodes of Pantheon.
Do you want to also walk away like Jake?
I don't think holding the outside of your open back headphones stops you from hearing what I'm about to say.
I'll just deafen myself. It's fine.
I won't talk about spoilers, I guess, if people haven't finished this stuff, but there's just been a lot of incredible animation stuff to come out recently, so I just wanted to also highlight Invincible season 2 started. They're splitting it in 2 halves, so the first 4 episodes are out now, and we're getting the next 4 episodes early 2024, they said.
Oh, big split.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of sad about that, but it's been like 2 years since season 1. They said that there's never going to be a wait this long for another season again, so...
So they say, until the writer's strike happens.
I feel like they definitely had like... They I don't think they anticipated that it was going to be such a big hit, and so now that they're set, they know that they're going to be able to do as much as they want with this show.
I mean,
they'll be able to
Fortnite
just
X
run with it.
Invincible happened, so
Yeah, so now it's big. Now you know.
now you know it's big.
If it's in Fortnite, you know it's big.
Invincible's a Prime show, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
based on a comic series, also. By the same author that did Walking Dead, actually.
Oh, really?
That's kind of interesting.
I thought for sure you were going to say The Boys.
Nope.
I could see that.
I think his last name is Kirkman. I forget his first name.
Hmm.
Robert, I think. I don't know.
But
What?
has everybody here seen at least season 1 of Invincible?
No,
I think Jake has not,
No.
but he's not currently right here.
I haven't, but I don't care about spoilers.
And what is wrong with you,
I don't
care
watch
about
a lot
spoilers.
of TV or
man?
stuff, so
All right, well, what I was gonna say is I need to stop stopping at credits. Like,
The
I
show,
don't
especially,
know.
yeah.
I don't know why I like see the credits and I start turning the show off, but
Mm.
I did that on the first episode, and so I didn't get the hook that you need to get to really want
remember
to watch that.
Because I watched it and then I was like, you gotta watch this. And you watched the
Yeah.
first episode and you told me, and I was like, did you see the thing at the end?
I watched it and I was
You were
like,
like, what?
yeah, it seems like a nice, coming into power, a coming of age superhero flick. And you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Did you not watch the end credit scene? So there's an episode this season. I think maybe 10 minutes into the show, it cuts to credits.
Oh.
I tried turning it off.
It is before the halfway point of the episode. If you like pull up the
Yeah, so I
How
almost
much
turned it
longer you
off,
have?
but then
Why?
I clicked down accidentally instead of like hitting back on my remote, and I saw this huge gap of just playtime, and I'm like, oh. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
What
to do
the
that.
heck?
I will say they cut back to the action faster than they did on that first episode of season 1. I think maybe to try to catch people like Aaron, who always turns off the thing as soon as the credits pop up. But yeah, excellent show. They're still doing some wild stuff. The production value and animation and everything is top notch.
So good. I think all
another
the character
season-
development is also it goes to show like various different characters that you would consider to be side characters. But I
Mhm.
think kind of like Game of Thrones, like I'm interested in those characters. Like I actually want to see what's happening with Adam Eve or like the Clone Boys or just everybody. I want to see what happens with Rex. I want to know what's going down. You've been here the whole time.
Yeah. The other season 2 that just started, also incredible. Well, it just ended, I guess. Pantheon.
We didn't even talk about Pantheon season 1. On
We
the
haven't
Pantheon
talked
podcast.
about
season
it at
1,
all.
yeah.
I've never even heard of this show.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Pantheon is
It's-
so like I feel like it's just underground. Like nobody's
It's
heard of
so
it.
sad because like I forget exactly what happened with the show, but like one producer had it, didn't do a lot of marketing, basically considered it a flop,
Yeah, AMC.
and then Amazon picked it up.
Yeah, so AMC actually made season 2, but then like dubbed the show a failure and canceled it and didn't release season 2. And then Amazon picked up the rights to distribute season 2 is how we actually got to see it.
Hmm.
It's such a good show too. Like it was so interesting. Like right, I think it's a tiny bit slow to start, but
For sure. It's slower.
man,
Yeah.
it picks up and it just keeps chugging, and
It
you're just
accelerates
sitting
quickly
there.
though,
Yeah,
because it's not super long either. It's 2 seasons or like 8 episodes each.
8
something like that.
episodes, 40-minute episodes.
40-minute episodes.
Yeah.
And they complete the whole story arc by the end of season 2 because I mean, I think they knew they were getting canceled, so they wrapped up the whole story.
Hmm.
But they do it very well. Very satisfying ending. I don't have a complaint. Whole story told in 2 seasons is great. Not many shows get to do that.
Yeah. I'm like
So-
halfway through season 2 and I'm thoroughly enjoying it right now. It is,
Mhm.
The storyline is just really interesting.
Is it about the
That's
League
cool.
of Legends character, or
It's about, it explores like somebody invents the ability to scan human brains and upload them. and I'm
Have you s-
having a nosebleed. That's cool.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
boy.
good.
Is someone scanning you? Is this what the
How it
show's
happens?
like? Is this viral marketing?
No.
Why don't you go fix that, and we'll keep
Yeah,
the
yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the show from I think it's Prime and it's called Upload?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so Pantheon. So Upload's like a comedy drama.
Mhm.
So like it's very funny. Upload AI stuff. Lots of comedy within it. Pantheon is more it's drama. It's more serious. There's like a bit of action with it. So it's like the more serious side of it.
Interesting.
It's animated very well. It's got really nice animation. Yeah, I found this on TikTok like a while ago, and I just so happened to save it and like look it up. Season 1 hooked me, and then season 2 came out. Funnily enough, Alex was talking to me one time, and he was like, he was explaining to me basically how, because like I knew that there wasn't like a lot of marketing for this show, but he was explaining like the company who had it, and this distribution rights got transferred. And he was like, there could be a season 3, and I had already finished it. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. And then he got to the end. He's like, yeah, I don't think so either. So it has
excited
a
to
clean
finish it.
ending. It's really nice. Story's really good.
It's so intense every episode. I feel like sometimes I'll turn on Plex. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch that right now because that's just too much. It's heavy stuff.
I definitely finished Pantheon, and I sat there for like a good 15. Like I didn't reach for the remote to turn off the credits. I just sat there staring, like, oh, what is this? Like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, it's
Man.
good stuff, man.
We need to get some people through that so we could actually have like
I'll be
in-depth
done
conversation
soon.
on that.
Be done soon. I have a show to bring up. This is a Max show.
Who's
Sorry,
Max?
Oh, he's back. Hello.
Hello. No, it's fine. You did a great
I
transition.
saw her reach over and unmute the mic, and then you kept talking. She just muted it and went
Yeah,
back.
I
Oh.
gotta just go
I'm
with the
sorry.
flow, and this is now the transition. Caleb, take it away.
Sorry, I've
So
interrupted
yeah,
everything.
I said it's a Max show. Max is the stupid rebranded HBO Max thing that they decided to just drop the name HBO. For
It's
Like
who
saying,
knows
yeah, I saw
why.
this on X.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem, everyone,
Uh.
nobody knows what HBO is. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Everyone
No
just
one's
knows
ever heard of
Max.
They just
Yeah.
know what Max is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer
So
PCs, but teach their own.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a new animated show on Max called Scavenger's Reign. It's pegged as a sci-fi show, but I kind of hesitate to call it that. I'd call it more of a fantasy show because it's about this small crew of a space freighter that gets marooned on a planet, all kind of separately. They don't know each other or even alive, and they're just trying to survive on this alien planet that's out to kill them in every feasible way. And so they're trying to figure out how to survive there and make it back to their broken ship and hopefully lift off again. And it is, man, it has such cool world building built into it everywhere. And the art is, it took me a little bit to get used to because it's kind of, the people are animated kind of flatly, but everything else is really, really cool, really colorful. And it really makes the planet come alive. It's cool.
That's
Sounds
funny.
like-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, sounds like an art style I'd like.
Yeah, I bet so.
But it's funny you bring this up because I was literally listening to the Besties earlier today. They did an episode on Super Mario Wonder, and Griffin was talking about Scavenger's Reign,
Oh, really?
about how it's like the best sci-fi show he's ever seen.
Nice.
I was like, oh wow, that's so random. And then I saw it here, I was like, no fucking way.
yeah, I
That's
wanted to talk
insane.
about it for weeks, but we haven't been able to.
Oh yeah, sure, with the strike and such.
Yeah, didn't want to dip into there just in case.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
But I really, really enjoyed it.
And so did Griffin McElroy, so
So it
I
must
did
be
too.
good.
I also watched it.
Okay, nice.
can all three be wrong?
Impossible.
Honestly, the statistical probability of that is rather low.
Mhm.
Number one thing I liked about the show was just how imaginative its like creature design and stuff was.
Yes.
very, very cool.
Is it just one season?
So far,
Nice.
Yeah. I could see
feel
them
like
doing a
they
second
might
if
have
they
already
wanted to.
announced a second.
Oh man, I like when it's just one season because then I'm like, oh, I can finish it. I could start it and then finish it.
I could see watching this and being happy
Oh, yeah.
without a second season.
Yeah.
With the way they leave it.
Alex, did you mention that this is the same art designers as Pantheon, animators as Pantheon?
It's the same studio,
Studio, okay.
I think,
Wow.
from what I read.
Man. We should we'll send them an invoice for all this free advertising. For all this
Man,
advertising. It won't be
Pantheon
free.
really needs it. Like, it's so sad. It's such a good show. Like, if you look on the Reddit, it's just a bunch of depressed people being like, this show didn't get the recognition it deserved. It's so underrated. Like, they really didn't have a marketing budget, designed for this. Like, they really needed to push it out more. I was like, I'm just going to go make a Pantheon TikTok.
They should just do grassroots marketing. I feel like that'd be the best way, honestly.
Then they'll hire me. No, I'm just kidding.
If that was true, I'd be working for Square Enix right now. Anyway.
It's Titmouse is the name of the studio.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse
No
was taken,
notes.
so, next best thing was Titmouse.
Oh, man.
I
What a
think,
way.
I think a titmouse is a bird.
It is.
Yes.
You ruined
Okay.
that
That was a
fun.
reference to Minnie Mouse, but all right.
Why would you do this?
Too late. It's been done. The only way we can recover is with a surprise. Ben, please tell us the surprise.
The surprise new TV show that was announced that I bet no one's heard of is they announced the Fallout TV show.
Whoa,
yeah.
a Fallout TV show.
Oh my
I
god.
know.
I've
You
never
guys don't
heard
sound
of
very
that.
surprised.
I had no idea.
I would have been
No
so
one-
surprised
no
if we
one
didn't talk
mentioned
about
it.
this an hour ago.
Yeah, no one mentioned it right before the cast. So.
Oh, really? I missed that part.
I think
weren't
it was
there.
before you were on.
Well,
yeah.
at least I'm surprised. Please tell me more.
Excellent. Fallout. They're making a TV show on Amazon Prime Video. Very exciting. They've haven't talked too much about the plot of it yet or what's going to be about, but they've released some scenes and some stills. A little bit of information. Main character is going to be a woman who grew up in a vault. So very reminiscent to how a lot of the games start. You're a person in a vault. You have to go out into the wasteland for things. It was developed for TV by the creators of Westworld, which is interesting because I
Ooh.
definitely feel like Westworld gives off a lot of that same sort of, I guess, vibes I would want to see in a Fallout show.
We're talking live
Um,
action.
Yes, full live
Mhm.
action.
Interested.
They've released some stills of people in vault suits, some stills. Well, sorry, not full live action. There is some like CGI.
Sure.
Well,
obviously, but-
yeah, it's
yeah,
the 21st century.
mutants.
But they released some stills. There's an airship that looks like a Brother of Steel airship, and then some people in power armor, which is pretty awesome looking. But
That's all.
yeah, very exciting. They've got interesting. They have somebody who's got makeup onto and is a ghoul who's one of the main characters. So it looks better than I was expecting it to look. As like when you try to turn somebody live action into a ghoul. But
He
no,
looks
I'm excited
creepy.
for it. He is, which he's supposed to look creepy.
Ghouls
Yeah.
are creepy.
It
Yeah.
looks good though. Like
Yeah, like it. They did a good job of making a creepy
looks-
Fallout ghoul.
it's probably practical effects.
I think
So
so. Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, we don't know a whole lot yet. I mean, most people talking about this, they basically just announced they're doing it, the name of the main character, and a bunch of pictures of scenes from it.
I hear that they confirmed that it was going to be canon, which is
Oh, I
I
didn't. hear
feel
that.
like a weird thing to say about Fallout.
That is
That is
odd.
a weird thing.
Like I guess technically there's a canon, but like
Oh yeah, there is.
I don't know.
I mean, most of
Maybe
the canon
it's
is
just
there's a nuclear fallout guy. There
Yeah,
was some
right.
vaults.
Well,
That's-
a lot of
that's it.
I mean, the games all have plots, and several of them are relevant enough that they're canon across the entire United States.
I mean, I suppose, but like,
It's mostly
Okay,
the first
so
couple
Fallout
games
3's
that have real
canon.
big things.
so a guy at one point found his dad. That's canon.
Do you not remember the
Hey, that's
giant
4.
robot?
Yeah, but who cares?
There's a giant robot?
But
Yeah, at
no,
the very
Fallout.
end.
I think Fallout 1 and 2. I've played a bit of them, but I think their plots ended up with more overarching, like relevant things for the world. Like the time the super mutants almost took over the entire, United States and things like that.
Theoretically, in 3, you can kill all the super mutants in the Capital Wasteland.
Yeah,
If
that's
you
not a
poison the water.
canon ending.
But there is no canon ending. That's what I'm saying.
Also, yeah, but
In my canon, Mettaton's a fucking crater. That probably ain't canon.
But most stories, I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping I don't fuck it up. But I'm not gonna get my hopes too high.
Tempered hopes. Got it. Mid hopes.
I mean, Westworld was good. So, and it's made by the Westworld people. That's good, right?
Have
I mean,
Could
they,
be. Could
They'll
be
probably
good.
have they said where it takes place?
Westworld.
Oh, it takes place in Westworld. That makes sense.
I don't know if they have said where.
Just
it takes
because, like,
place.
every Fallout game, I guess
Probably
I don't know
Vegas.
where 1 and 2 take place, but,
Wait.
like, all the other ones have been new locations.
Even if
All
They-
the other ones, like 3 of them.
even if they've told us, Ben, don't tell us, and then we'll have a surprise for next
Ooh, we'll
time.
have a surprise
Oh.
later, yes.
Bonus
Yeah.
surprise.
I mean, obviously, people could just go look at it, but then
Mm-mm.
why
We
would
have
they
to
do
make a
that? Why
pact.
would you wait?
You don't know that they literally listen to our podcast for all information?
That's okay. Didn't earlier I said that this is usually an informational?
Informative.
Yeah,
What
and
we're
I
here
just
for.
steamrolling all over that. I feel like we've gotten back on track. That's great. Cool. With that, I think it's time for whose color is this? Chad. Please tell us about what you have in the film category, which I've now realized should have been renamed to film and shows.
What else?
Film, shows, and anime. So Spy X Family. Been watching a ton of that recently. We were doing like 2 episodes a night, Caitlin and I, and then we did like 6 episodes last night. Yeah, it was funny because we'd get to the end of an episode and it's like we should totally go to bed, and then we'd side eye each other, and then we'd just watch the next one.
Nice.
Spy X Family, for people who don't know what it is basically this super spy who gets his new mission of infiltrating a school that is a very elegant school.
Eleganto.
Eleganto for the West, and he can't obviously go to school, so he has to adopt a child and become a father and send that child to school. And that child needs to get like Stella stars in order to get closer to one of the royalty family member's son. She, plot twist, has she can read minds, but she doesn't tell her father that. And to make them have even more cover, he quote unquote marries. They're not actually married, but it's just a marriage of convenience. A super assassin. So there's just this whole just dichotomy of just amazingness going on.
He doesn't know that she's a super assassin.
Nobody
Doesn't-
knows.
yeah,
Very
nobody
relevant.
knows.
Anything.
None of them know.
None of them know
Everybody-
anything.
The girl knows
The
girl knows
everything.
child
everything.
knows
Well,
both.
child knows
She can
everything.
read
Child
That's
knows
fair.
everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that you could just imagine the comedy that happens from the child reading the minds of the adults, and the adults like thinking very wrong things about each other, such as like, oh, her face is upset because she's upset with me and I did something wrong, when in reality she's like thinking about work and the kill that she did, and how she got hurt at work, and like she has to hide that or something. So the show is just amazing. I think it's very well done. It's honestly, Caitlin and I were sitting there, and the thing that we noticed was just like the facial expressions that they put on these characters are just god tier. It's just so good. Just
So meme worthy.
right. It just gets all the emotion across without them even saying anything. Like it's just so good. It's such a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
My perfect kind of humor. And what was I saying? I said last night, I was like, man, I feel like at some point you'd think, because how many, we're 2 seasons now, right? Or somewhere in the halfway through 2nd season.
I was
You'd
gonna
think,
ask.
Isn't it third?
I don't know. There's many, more than one. You'd think by this point, with this many episodes, that this trope that they've set up of, you know, only the child knowing really what's going on, everybody else just all these misunderstandings, would not be funny anymore. But somehow, every episode, it just gets funnier. And I have to give them credit that they knew they picked their trope, they knew what they were going to do, and they just keep breaking down the doors. They're just barreling through all the expectations. It's just so funny. I don't know. That's my take.
You're
it.
right. It is 2 seasons so far. 8 episodes in the 2nd season.
I was gonna say, and do you want to mention the new character that gets introduced in season 2, Chad?
The Doki?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a funny character just because if you didn't have the little girl who can read minds, you wouldn't really know anything about the dog, but because she can read minds, she can tell that the dog can see the future. So it's just such a unique show. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah. It's just like a shot of pure joy watching an episode of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the serotonin from the levels of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Before we move off to anime, I wanted to ask, have you watched any Frieren yet, Caleb?
I have not, which I
okay.
imagine is the opposite of pure joy.
Beyond Journey's
From what
End.
it looks like.
I
Looks
just
like
bring
pure
it up.
depression distilled into a show.
I bring it up because it's replaced the #1 spot on Mal for like the last couple weeks now.
Wow.
Shocking news.
Yeah.
What anime is
Impressive.
this?
It's Frieren and Beyond Journey's End.
Are you guys saying a word?
How do you spell it? Please
It's
spell it.
probably a
name.
name. Yeah.
It's her name.
Is it
F-R-I.
Oh, I get what you're saying about how to pronounce it is bad.
Yes, Frieren.
Frieren.
Oh yeah, I was
Frieren.
just talking about this with somebody.
My knowledge of it is it's about a girl who lives for a very long time and about all of her friends who don't live for a very long time.
That's extremely sad.
Yeah.
I have to add that to my list.
I think the story starts like after she's gone on the grand adventure and saved the world and all that.
She
Yeah.
was I think it's she's an elf who was part of like the heroes party that defeated the demon lord, and it's like most of the heroes party was like humans, so they die of normal ages, and she's just still around.
This is
Yeah.
like Arwen.
Hmm.
If she didn't become like part mortal.
Oh, before we get off anime, we haven't been talking about film recently. And I don't think I mentioned this last
This is an
cast.
anime podcast now.
Yeah, for sure. Attack on Titan finished up.
Oh, true.
Actually over?
It's actually over. Like,
Wow.
unless they do some twist where it was all a dream, I can't see them coming back from what happened. It's a good anime. Like, it took a while for it to come out, but like if you can sit down and watch it now and like get through it, it is so good. Like there are different parts that like jaw dropping. Like the pre-planning that the writers have for the show is just so incredible. It's a good show. Good ending. I think it was a good ending.
Finally time to
Good
start
stuff.
to watch past season 2.
Heck yeah.
And with that, it sounds like, by the deafening silence. Well, now there's giggles. You guys really,
Sorry.
No,
it was a
it's fine.
giggleable moment.
The giggleable moment. It sounds like we should move on to our next section, which happens to be video games.
Oh,
Why
shit,
was
we do
that
talk about
funny?
those.
I don't know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes the delivery
we
is
do.
funny. It looks like we're going to start off. We have 2 things listed. Although I don't know, we just added a couple things in the last section, so who knows? We're starting with some two. We got 2 major topics. First one's going to be Jake. Please. tell
Yeah,
us.
I just put this in here because I like to hurt everyone who likes Destiny too.
I forgot I was gonna put this in there for the same
Mhm.
exact reason.
my God.
All right,
Wow, how
multicolored.
weird.
Let's do it.
So the final shape, which is definitely not going to just be an orb, has been delayed
It's a
until
triangle,
June
Jake.
of
Triangle.
next year. I don't
June.
believe it's a triangle. June.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man,
it was
they
supposed to be
they cannot
February.
get their stuff together over there.
Well,
Honestly,
isn't
the
this, like,
final
third time
shape
they've
is the
delayed
friends that we made along the way.
Oh my god, please. I would be so happy.
We need one more expansion to get delayed, so we're back on the normal schedule again.
What if the final
'Cause
shape
it
is just
used to be
turtles all the way
fall.
down?
Could be.
Fall got delayed into early the next year, and then now we're delayed into summer of the next year. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this delay isn't that surprising because they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be February, and then they laid off like a shit ton of staff members, and then yeah, it's like, oh, that's
Also, they got-
probably bad.
they got so much criticism from the last expansion.
Right.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be their big finale, so like
Mhm.
They better be polishing the crap out of this
better be
thing.
good, guys.
They gotta nail it, dude.
Gotta be
If they
good.
don't, Destiny 3 is coming out in a couple years.
Yeah, probably, and then they'll sell it back to us.
That's a long time to wait. Couple years.
I feel like
it's
that's
been
not
like
very
what
long at all.
a decade of this so far.
A
Like,
decade.
this is the closer of the decade of. This
Yeah.
is the
The
what is
end
it?
of the Light and Dark saga.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the end
Endwalker.
game. It's like the equivalent of the end game in Marvel.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hopefully it is the end game, and not Iron Man 2.
Wow. Can't wait
That's all I
for
have.
you to buy all the new Destiny stuff once again when we try to do raids,
Yeah.
Just the stuff for raids. That's all he needs, right?
Mhm.
which is everything pretty
It's
much. I don't know.
everything.
It's usually everything.
There's still one we haven't done, I think.
Yep,
Or one came out.
we got
while
a new one.
stopped.
Mm.
got a
Yeah,
new
we haven't
old
done
one?
that yet.
Gotta do that at some point.
Is it the penultimate shape?
Speaking of new old,
Wait, I had one. I had it. I had the transition. I was sitting here ready. Did you see my mouth?
Come on,
open?
Alex.
I just said new old a second ago, and I looked at what the next thing was. And I was like, oh, that's perfect.
No, I got it. Well, I had a good one. It's not as good now. I was gonna say, speaking of games that just keep making content, but also just are still around for decades.
It's
Well,
not been
mhm.
decades yet.
It was a release date of 2017. Thank you
Was
very
it? Because
much.
it feels like a
6
lot
years,
longer
wow.
than
Yeah.
that. Was
Yeah.
it really?
When did the weird one come out before current Fortnite? The Save the
When
World
did
one.
the
When
weird
was
one
Save the World?
Save the World.
2016,
Oh.
didn't it? I don't know.
The 16.
By the way, guys,
think
we're
it
going to
was the
talk
same-
about Fortnite.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think so. It was July 25th, 2017 for Save the World. I think Battle Royale came out like a few months later. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
after
Okay.
that.
It was that
Um,
soon.
Yeah. Well, story goes, Epic helped with the Unreal Engine for PUBG, and then they were like, "Let's take what we learned with PUBG and just make Fortnite." And so PUBG was kind of pissed at them because it was more popular. And then now they've taken over, and I mean PUBG's still alive, especially over in like China or something like that. Like it's crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, OG Fortnite is here. So we literally went back in time to the chapter. I think it started at chapter 3, chapter 4, somewhere around there. Sorry, it's not chapter. It would be season. It'd be chapter 1, season 3.
You fool.
I am a fool. We are on chapter 4 right now. And there are 4 chapters with various seasons in between because that's how they've labeled it. Instead of just saying it's season 26 or something like that, just make it easy. Anyways,
Please tell me how
OG
you really feel.
OG Fortnite. First week when this started, it was season 3 or 4. Then it just moved on from there. We're all the way now at season X. So we've kind of each week went through the seasons of the original Fortnite. What's up?
I have a question.
What up?
The first you started referring to seasons with numbers, and then you switched to
Mhm.
letters.
Yeah, when they got to 10, they went to X. They said X.
Okay.
They said season X, not season 10.
But did
Just
they go
like
back
Twitter.
to 11?
They went, nope, they
Just
went to
like Twitter.
chapter 2, season 1.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Okay, please continue.
And they only got up to, I think, season 8. Then they went to chapter 3, 1 through, I think, around 4 or 5. And then we're on chapter 4 now,
Wow.
which I think this is technically season 2 of chapter 4.
Less and less seasons per
and-
chapter, huh?
And we're about to go to, I think, I could be wrong, we're about to go to chapter 5, though. That's
This is
what's
like
about to
when-
happen.
Mac had OS X, and it was they told everybody no, it's pronounced OS 10, and everybody just said OS X all the time. And then when they put out 11, that was a number and not a Roman numeral.
And then people found the Roman numeral and started calling it that. Anyways, OG Fortnite. numbers have been absolutely popping off. There's been like 1.2 million in the regular build mode, and then 1 million plus in the ranked mode. So that's 2 different modes that have like a crap ton of players. Ranked has been popping off more than regulars, which is kind of an odd scenario this season. Like, people are confused about it because ranked is usually like the real uber sweaty, like nobody really wants to play that. While regulars, you kind of can lean back and have a conversation with friends while playing. The loot pool is very basic. You actually, when you find a purple or gold weapon, which are like the high rarities, it goes gray, green, blue, purple, gold. If you find the purple and gold, you actually feel like you have a good weapon instead of it just being like everybody has the purple and gold. They re-added treasure maps, which you whip that out and it points you in a direction, and you can go dig up a treasure and open the chest, and it just gave you gold weapons. So there was like a couple days where everybody did have gold weapons before Epic was like, we're going to disable that again because this is not the point of OG Fortnite right now.
Well, arguably, I think that treasure maps that tell you exactly where the treasure is by leading you to it. Wait.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I was going to
curious
say
now.
that seems a little too easy. Treasure maps are supposed to be like puzzles.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fast-paced shooter, though. I mean, you don't really want to have to do a puzzle in the middle of a battle royale.
You gotta solve a puzzle.
I understand
to
what you're
get some
saying,
Good
though.
weapons.
That could be cool. I mean, I could do it that way. Various vehicles were added and taken away. Planes were back in for a bit. Season 10 or Season X had the most overpowered vehicle in the game called mechs, which were these 2-legged robots that could literally just bleed through walls, destroy everything, smash on wall. Like, it was crazy. They didn't re-add those, which I think is a very good choice. Yeah, they're coming to a close here, though, on December 2nd. But a couple collabs that they've had was Eminem's one of them. So Eminem's in the game. Invincibles is another collab that they did. So that was really funny when I grabbed that skin set, and somebody in my group was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay."
Wow.
People are upset about the Eminem skin because instead of adding the 3 variants into one bundle that you could buy, they literally split it into like 3 different buys, which tells me that they had to pay Eminem a crap ton to put him into this game.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, he's Eminem.
Yeah. So they have Slim Shady. They have Eminem, like, kind of nowish, where he's like wearing a suit and a fedora. And then they have Rap Boy. So it's like he looks like Robin with like a hoodie on, but it's just Eminem.
Yeah, like they had to pay him a lot.
He's
for
like a
that.
superhero version
He's
of
like
Eminem?
yeah, it's weird.
Huh.
One of the variants, which is Slim Shady, he throws on a hoodie and then has like a mask and his skin turns red, which I think is very bizarre.
What?
Turns
yeah,
it red.
Something Eminem does in his
the
free time?
spaghetti on his shoulders.
Oh,
there
His
is
mom's spaghetti.
so there
Mom's
is
spaghetti.
the mom's
Makes
spaghetti
sense.
back bling that you could buy, and there is the
oh my gosh.
the Slim Shady song emote that you can buy. And if you have any other skin in the game and you use that emote, the mouth doesn't move on the character. But if you're
Wow.
using Slim Shady, the mouth moves.
Whoa.
Wow, pay to win
Whoa.
confirmed.
What the heck?
Unbelievable.
So supposedly there's a live event that's happening on December 2nd. And
Yeah, what do you
people
mean
think it's
by coming to a close? Are they doing...
OG Fortnite coming to a close?
Yeah, they're doing no more OG stuff?
Yeah, we're gonna move into
They're gonna go back to the
chapter
same map?
5. Like, duh. Like, I mean, we're
Come on,
we're
man.
done with
Maps?
OG Fortnite.
Totally new map
It's-
or back to the modern map?
Okay, so supposedly we're gonna be back on a new map. Well, I guess we're going to shift to a new map, not back on a new map. They are adding 3 different modes. This is all leaks, not confirmed, but it's from a person who's usually right about the
You
stuff
heard it
that he
here
leaks.
first.
What's that?
Heard it here first.
Yeah.
Primary source for Fortnite news.
Lego collab is coming, and with that, Fortnite is coming out with their very own, basically Minecraft open world
Uh-huh.
Legos mode.
Makes sense.
The second thing is that they're going to be doing a Rocket League collab, and so essentially we're just going to have like a racing mode, and you could just go in and you can race constantly. And
Do they know that
Rocket
Rocket League is not a
League.
racing game?
I mean,
that's not what the
Epic
game's
already
about.
owns Rocket League, so like, it's just kind of they'd be taking if they put Rocket League in Fortnite, they'd just be taken away from themselves.
I was just thinking you're just going to be a car that flies around and shoots people
Yeah,
in Battle Royale.
I think they
I'd be
actually
down for
had.
that.
I think
a
they
Twisted
had the
Metal
Rocket League cars in
version
Battle
of Fortnite.
Royale at one point.
Oh my gosh, of course I did.
They should do a crossover with Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Man.
Promote the new show.
yeah. The new live action show.
Mm-hmm.
The third rumored mode, and supposedly this has been a long time coming, is a first-person Fortnite mode.
Whoa.
My God.
Oh,
How do they sell skins?
see,
Same way Overwatch
Now they can sell
does.
guns.
that's
and-
where I'm skeptical on the first-person mode, because the whole point of Fortnite, in my opinion, is it's cash cow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And sure, it has good gameplay. Sure, you bring in lots of players. The predominant thing in that game that Epic's really producing it for is the item shop.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
why would you put it in first person? That doesn't make any sense. You already got the no build mode. Like, you don't need to go even further and put first person. Like, it's not needed. It's not necessary. Although I will say, people do pay for Call of Duty skins, and that is first
True.
person.
I mean, literally, Overwatch
Yeah.
sells skins that you don't see 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your gun looks slightly different.
A little bit sometimes, yeah.
So with the transition and with the event that's happening on December 2nd, people are saying that it's going to be an Eminem concert within the game.
That makes sense.
It could be. That's pretty much it right now. That's all I got. That's all I got for Fortnite news.
That was a lot.
I wanted on Fortnite. I saw this headline about their player numbers, and I thought it was really interesting because we see Steam chart numbers all the time, but we don't really see other systems a lot. And there's actually like player count trackers for Fortnite that I didn't know about.
Mhm.
The highest all-time peak on Steam is PUBG, 3.2 million. The highest peak was just hit 26 days ago on Fortnite, and it's like almost 6.2 million.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Fortnite-
big numbers.
Fortnite has like so much in it though. Like
Sure.
I've been playing a lot because of Fortnite, like OG Fortnite, like really like that's I have fond memories of that. And I'm not just playing the Battle Royale. There are so many other modes that you can play. So you like honestly, if Fortnite was the only game on the market, there's so much in it that you would probably never be able to play all of it because it's like
Sure.
the workshops and stuff like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
I entered into a mode called Bank World. It was just GTA, like inside of Fortnite. Like, I don't know. Then there's like box fights, so it's just you're spawning constantly in a very small room, and you're just doing the build fights and like editing on people, and it's one kill elimination mode, around like 10 rounds. Then there's like no build modes and creative. There's so much. There's just so much in the game. There's Uno. Somebody coded Uno into the game.
Heck yeah.
Sounds like they're coming for Roblox.
Yeah.
essentially. I mean,
Exactly what they're doing.
I'm sure.
it is
Show us
it
what they
is
want.
Roblox at this point. And like people, the reason why the maps are so vast is I heard that people are actually getting paid money by Epic by like how many plays they have on the maps. Like it's probably pennies, but like if you get enough players to play the map, and it's usually like thousands at a time, those pennies start adding up. So I mean, good stuff.
Thank you for the good stuff. I think with that, we would move on to the section stuff. But instead, we're going to move on to WHYBPL.
Whoa!
I
That's
don't-
favorite part.
Do we have the
Remember-
title card?
What
Yeah,
that
we got a
stands
stinger
for.
for
Hold
that?
on. What
Oh.
have you been playing lately, right?
Yeah,
You
nice.
did it.
WHYBPL.
WHYBPL.
All right. Do we
Like
go
a
in order
regular
here,
just-
or do we just
Oh,
anybody?
yeah.
WHYBPL.
You have to
Yeah,
say it
we
with
usually just
questioning
go
tone.
No
tip
Bipple?
to tail. I don't know. We also change the order sometimes, like
Yeah,
pre-cast, but we just go.
it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right, cool. Well, then I guess we start with the group. Please, group, tell me about the
Yeah.
stuff you've been playing.
Well, usually our requirement for group is that 3 people have played it.
I
Aaron's
was
played
kind
it,
of
he's
hoping
just not here.
Aaron would be here by
Oh,
now.
are we skipping this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't he
Not
say
three
he was?
people?
He said he might make it for
He said he
WHYBPL.
might. We I mean, we can save this
We
for
can still-
later.
All right,
True,
all
we
right.
can
We'll
hold this
put
at the
put
end
group
just
at
in
the
case
end.
he shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy,
We'll just
done.
we'll just tease the viewers
Well,
with
actually
something
move
they'll
the group
never
to the
know.
end.
Yeah,
You'll
it's a
never
possibility
know.
that we'll talk about it, but at this point, unclear. So hold your seats, sit at the edge of them, because we're gonna skip
Sit
it
at the edge of
and
them.
go to Caleb.
Oh yeah, it's my
WHYBPL.
turn. WHYBPL. So I'm playing a couple different things lately. Firstly is the Tartarus key. I would not be surprised if you haven't heard of this because it's like
No, it's
I haven't
huge.
heard of
Game
any
of the
game
year
that you've ever
contender,
played.
right?
You dip fish in that?
no.
That's good.
It is a PS1 looking escape room game essentially.
It's an escape room game. What is with all
Yeah.
the PS1 style games coming out
I
lately?
don't
Like,
know.
what is
Nostalgia.
I don't know.
I guess.
It's the
Gonstein?
people making games now grew up with the PS1.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's got to be it, right?
And I get it's probably a lot easier to make than something that looks really nice. To be
I mean, I
fair.
find that hard to believe. Making games is so easy, right, Caleb?
Never
True.
said that. So in the Tartarus Key, you play as this girl who gets kidnapped and wakes up in a mansion, essentially, and is just stuck in this room with a walkie-talkie and someone she doesn't know on the other side. And she's got to kind of escape this mansion, meeting a bunch of people on the way, saving them or not saving them, and trying to figure out kind of what's going on in the place.
Do you think at the end the real key is going to be the friends she made along the way?
That's gonna be tartar
a little
sauce.
bit.
Spoilers.
It is a little bit. It is a little bit.
Gosh.
Wow.
Now I want to play this game. Now I'm excited.
But it's got really good puzzles in it. They're a lot of fun. They're straightforward in the sense that you don't have to do like you do in a freaking point and click adventure game where you combine every possible item with every other possible item.
Thank God.
It just it kind of all just makes sense. You just got to work through the puzzles. And so I had a lot of fun playing through it. Not terribly long. I think I beat it in like 4.5 hours.
Is it like, I'm looking at some of the screenshots. Is it like a little spooky?
It's a little spooky. It's a little bit spooky. It's not terribly spooky.
Okay.
It's
I don't
it's
know what's
more
spooky.
it's
Could
more
Alex play
psychological than it is.
The new question is, could Ben
Scary.
play it? This is what we're going with for now on.
I would have said
Hold on.
Alex probably
What?
could play it. Well, except for
Yeah.
maybe this part in the trailer. Maybe. I'll give you a maybe. It's a little
Okay.
bit spooky.
And why
Okay.
why is it now? What if would Ben play it? Could
You
Ben
don't
play it,
play
huh?
the spooky games.
Yeah, but
It
you don't
sounds like
either.
you play him even less than he
Yeah,
does.
but I'm like in denial about it and saying I can't play them. When
You
you're
did
like,
play
and
like
he plays the multiplayer ones.
yeah,
played
You
like
decided not
15
to.
minutes of that one game by Blooper Team. Layers of Fear.
I probably could have done that multiplayer one. I don't know why I freaked out at the time. I mean, I do Friday the 13th most years for
Friday
the
the 13th isn't scary.
It's not
I was gonna
scary.
say Friday and Texas Chainsaw. Those
Texas
are just
Chainsaw.
comical at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But pretty good. There's multiple endings. Like I said, you can save people or not save them. So there's a bit going on there with what happens at the end with them. But pretty decent. Good puzzles. A lot of fun. And then I've been playing a game called Melatonin, which is a rhythm game. I'm usually not into.
Oh.
It was on sale recently. I'd seen some good things about it. It's a little atypical for a rhythm game, I would say, because it doesn't have much in the way of UI or it doesn't have your
this game looks
normal
cool.
rhythm look to it. It doesn't have like, lines with a bunch of buttons you got to push at the right time. It's all kind of built into the world, and it's a very surreal like experience. So at one point you're like flying in a chair, and there's a whole bunch of boxes of food shooting food at you that you got to catch at the right timings, and they have like different patterns to the way the food moves. And in another one, you're like scrolling through on a dating app, and you got to swipe to the left or the right in time to different musical prompts.
To do with melatonin?
The idea, I think, for melatonin is just that it's like about dreams and it's very surreal.
Mhm.
And
I was gonna
melatonin
say-
makes you
They
sleep.
could have named it any drug, really.
It
Yeah.
helps you fall asleep or something.
That was
Yeah,
the
'cause
thing.
it's
I was
boring, it
like,
sucks.
melatonin
It's
specifically. Did you just say they're throwing food at your face?
That's
Well, in
seem
one of the
relaxing.
dreams, yeah.
But
yeah.
in like a relaxing way?
It's like a
Well,
nightmare.
there's like nice
In a
relaxing
rhythmic way.
music playing, and it's rhythmic, yeah.
There's a
Which is
popular-
on its own kind of relaxing.
There's a popular like DS / maybe other Nintendo systems at this point game called Rhythm Heaven. I think it plays like this.
Rhythm Heaven. Don't know that one. But
It's a rhythm game, but it's not like on a track.
Yeah, very much like this. Okay. I had a lot of fun with it. I beat it in like 2 hours, but I think there's a whole bunch of like community maps for the different levels. So I'm sure you can find more playtime in there.
Can you play through the Fire Flames?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Is
I
it
don't
even
think
a
I
real
would
rhythm
want
game if you
to
can't?
in this
Hmm.
way.
Sounds
I
like
think it would
someone's scared.
clash a little much.
It's a nightmare now.
Yeah, I
It's not a
guess.
dream anymore.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, but if you're looking for a good little rhythm game, relaxing, it's fun. Pretty good.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate all the WHYBPL.
Whoop-a-pple.
Bibble?
I think it's time we ask WHYBPL to Ben.
Me? Toi?
Yeah.
Yes. I have not had a whole lot of time to play games over the last couple weeks, but I have played a couple. I've started in on replaying entertainingly. I picked up during Black Friday sale Fable Anniversary Edition for PC.
Nice.
Boy,
Going way back.
yeah, it doesn't age great.
Aw.
It is their kind. Well, here, okay. The story and the gameplay is still pretty good. The graphics look like they're almost scary how bad they are now. Like it's horrifying.
So you have to
Um,
stop playing it.
I was on
Scary.
edge. I was on edge, but I'm powering through. I'm trying to work my way up by listen, I'm going to start with just a little scary games and work my way up to the real
Sure.
scary ones. So I'm starting with
Yeah.
the horror game Fable.
You start with bad graphics.
What all comes in the anniversary edition?
Anniversary Edition gives you lost chapters and all the DLC. The main thing you're getting out of that one is bug fixes, and they claim graphical improvements, although I don't know if I've seen that yet. Or maybe it's just that it is better than the original one, and I just don't remember it very well.
Probably.
The
That's
Lost
the sad part.
Chapters. The Lost Chapters has all the evil. What's his name? Jack, like Jack the Ripper kind of character.
Yeah.
In it. Okay.
I thought,
I don't remember his name. off
isn't
the top of
Jack
my
the
head.
Ripper the main villain?
He.
They just
He
straight
might
up
be
call
then.
him Jack the Ripper.
I don't know if I don't think his name's actually Jack the Ripper. But I think
It
it's
might
like
actually
really
be called
similar.
Jack the Ripper or something. Yeah.
Hilarious.
But pick that back up again for something just to play on the couch when I'm chilling. And I guess we can look up Jack.
He's called Jack of Blades.
Jack of Blades.
Ah,
that's right.
Excuse me.
Jack of
Jack of
Blades.
Blades.
It's
Oh,
even
God.
stupider. Was that possible?
It hurts.
His stuff's great though. I love his stuff.
Oh
yeah.
man, now I want to play Fable. Holy shit.
The Lost Chapters is good stuff, man.
Somebody asked me I told somebody at work, I think, that I was replaying. They were like, I've always wanted to try Fable, and I went, you should just play 2. 2's good and not as terribly aged. Like,
Yeah.
if anybody in this podcast is like, maybe I should try a Fable game, just go to 2. You could skip 1. You're not missing
I
out
don't
on
know,
anything.
man. The
Is Jack of
story
Blades in
one is a
2?
lot better.
What'd you
He's
I
say?
don't think
literally.
so.
You said 1's better?
I think the story for one's a lot better,
I can
if
see
I
that.
remember right.
But the gameplay's way better in 2.
I'll believe
Literally,
that, yeah.
all I want is Jack of Blades. That's the only thing I
Well,
want.
you're playing 1.
Yeah.
You can lose weight by eating celery in 3. So I don't
Oh
know,
my
guys.
god.
I think
Here's
you can do that
a-
in all the games.
Trivia fact for you: Jack is the oldest character in all Albion series.
What? How old
How
is
many
he?
Albion series are there? Also,
And that's like probably like all the Fable games, I guess.
I guess.
Hey, don't forget Albion Online.
Yeah, how could you forget that?
Is that related? Or is that
No,
No,
just...
it is the entirely
All
unrelated
right.
game.
I was like, wait a second.
Weren't they gonna make a MMO Fable game for a bit there?
Okay, so you got to understand, Fable was made by
Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux, who will promise you the world and on
Yeah.
a cake stand if he could sell a game off of it.
Hmm.
The
The new one
3
looks fun.
3 was famous for how much crap that he claimed that 3 would do, and then
Yeah.
he did none of that.
Man,
He
do
was
any of you
like
guys
Legends.
remember his Cube game? I don't remember what it was
Yes.
called. It was like it
It
was,
was gonna
just
have a
game.
life-changing secret at the center of the cube.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
everyone, you would just tap on the cube, and if you happened to be the one person who got the last cube, you got. I
You
think
got
they
the
ended up
special
just. Yeah, it was
Somebody
like something
won it.
for.
It
Yeah, it
was-
was something for a game that they were making. You were
It was
gonna be
supposed
like
to
a.
be, yeah. I think
god
it
in their
was
new
they got to
world.
come like tour the studio or something.
Yeah, just
and
like
they-
something really like. Who
And you
gives
were
a
supposed to
shit?
get like an NPC in the game or something like that, but I don't
Mhm.
think they ever released the game.
Yeah, I don't think it ever came out.
But no, it's still enjoyable. I don't know that somebody who's never played it before would be real into it, but it's still fun enough for somebody who has played it before and enjoying it for nostalgia.
Hmm.
Also, didn't realize that there's a mod scene for it.
Really? Nice.
Not a big one, but I didn't
Hmm.
realize that apparently with Anniversary Edition they actually did release some very difficult to use mod tools. So there's a couple things I picked up that are supposed to just like improve game balance and a couple things.
Yeah. That's nice.
Then the second game I've been playing is called The Wandering Village. So the
Go
Wandering
catch it.
Village. What's up?
What?
Well, you're in the
Go
village,
on, Alex.
wandering around.
What?
So Wandering Village is a it's kind of like a city builder, but it's much more simplistic.
The city doesn't keep walking away?
Well, the city's on the back of a giant monster that is walking
Heck yeah.
around. Basically, think giant like herbivore dinosaur is what it looks like. That is large enough that its back actually has like trees and shit growing on it. So you're literally building your town on the back of this monster.
What if he lays down to go to sleep?
He does that sometimes.
Does
He
does the whole city just?
Yes. The whole thing. He lays down and he takes a nap.
But does
and
he just?
He doesn't
He just
roll
goes
over.
up and down.
on
He does
it.
not
He
roll over.
sleeps
He
on
doesn't
his
roll.
tum-tum.
Okay.
He sleeps
Well,
on his tum-tum.
I
But,
guess. Yeah. Okay. That makes
So it's
sense.
a city builder where you have to manage resources and stuff. But part of it is also it's like post-apocalyptic. So part of it is as your the monster's called an onbu, and as your onbu's like traveling around the world, you'll see like ruins or things that are like off the side of it. You can send expeditions to like the ruins or things to go like get resources and bring them back to your onbu. And there's a tech tree, and part of the tech tree is literally researching ways to like feed the onbu, care for the onbu. You can come up with ways to like try to lead the onbu to go certain directions so that you can head towards or away things. And it's like it's very much a you're a city builder, but it's a symbiotic relationship. Because also, like, if you don't like research and take care of the onbu, it can get sick and like cause problems for your city. And like, if you actually completely ignore it, it can die. In
He'll
which
roll
case,
over.
the game's just over. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, he
The
probably
Wandering
rolls over when
City
he
is
dies,
just
yeah.
the city. No.
You know, they could just
Village
design the
came
city
up.
so that when he
sorry,
rolls
it's
over,
Village.
it would stay.
That seems tricky.
That
Well,
seems very
yeah,
difficult.
but so is designing a city to live on the back of a monster
That
to
is a
begin
good
with.
point. Yeah,
Are
they
the
did already
monsters-
pick hard mode.
Are the monsters the reason for the post-apocalyptic world, or are they a
No.
product of it?
They're a product of it, and
Okay.
the reason you're living on the back of them is because basically the rest of the world is so poisoned and screwed up that the only place there is actually like you can like grow food and stuff is on the back of these onbus.
Man, I bet that's itchy.
They don't seem to be too bothered by it.
That's good.
But
Keeps
there's
them
like
warm,
literally
they like
things
it.
like there's like it's got scales and stuff that are useful for crafting, but you can't actually like harvest them unless you're friends enough with your onbu. It has to like your city enough to like not panic if you try to like take things off of it.
Right.
It's an interesting mechanic to like build around. It's fun. I like it a lot.
That was
That's
terrifying.
cool.
Sounds fun. It sounds like I'd like it, actually.
Can your
It's
people
got a
fall
very
off the
cute art
village?
style. Like the art style is very like almost like it almost gives the vibe if you've ever seen one of those like animated games where like it like Paper Mario style where it's like a 2D but they're kind of moving around a little bit in kind of a 3-dimensional space.
Yeah, it does look kind of flat.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of that vibe. It's the art's gorgeous. I like it a lot. So that's what I got.
Cool.
Nice.
Thank you.
Whoopipple.
Whoopipple. All right. It's time that we ask Whoopipple to Jake.
All right, Whoopipple.
Whoopipple.
So, I went kind of hog wild for Black Friday. I wasn't planning to buy anything, but I ended up buying like a billion things.
Gosh.
But the one I kept coming back to is Katamari Damacy Reroll. It's just a remake. It's a remake of the first Katamari Damacy game. It's on PC. I got it for like $6. It's great. It's so fun. For anyone who doesn't know what this game is, you play this little space prince, and you have a big sticky ball, and you roll it around the environment, and it picks up anything you roll over that's smaller than the ball. And the more stuff you roll up, the bigger the ball gets, so the more stuff you can roll up.
Get
That's
huge.
the game. That's the whole game, right?
That's the game.
That sounds
It's-
great. That sounds like
it's
so much fun.
Lovely. It's so great. It's because like last few days, it's just been like I'm tired. I'm stressed. What do I play? Do I want to try to get through another Baldur's Gate fight? Do I want to dive into like Cyberpunk? No, I just want to like roll shit up, like listen to some silly music and roll shit up as a little space boy. That's all I want. And it's so nice. It's so fun. If you haven't played these games, check them out. The sequel has also been, I don't know if remake is the right word, ported, whatever it is, but it's called a We Love Katamari Reroll. I got that one as well, but I haven't played it yet. But yeah, check them out. They were both really cheap a week ago, and now they're probably not, so.
What could they
Sorry.
possibly add to a sequel that's like, yeah,
Different
this,
stuff.
is it
Different
different stuff to
stuff.
roll
More
up?
levels.
Bigger.
Bigger.
Bigger
Ball
levels.
roll bigger.
Do you get to
Bigger
roll up the
balls.
universe?
Eager.
That I think the last level is you roll up continents.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
only continents. We got a long way to go.
Yeah,
You got to pump those numbers.
yeah, that's a rookie numbers right there.
All right. Well, thank you,
Whoopipple.
Whoopipple. It's time we ask. I feel I'm just going to say this for every transition now because I like it. It's time that we ask Whoopipple to Alex.
Yeah. So there's a game. I think Caleb also played this, so I'm surprised he didn't have it on here.
I haven't played very much of it.
Okay, I haven't played very much of it either, but it's interesting enough that I wanted to talk about it. It's a game called Astral Ascent. It's a roguelike. Basically, it popped up on my YouTube feed, somebody reviewing it, and I was like, this looks awesome. And then it was in 1.0 recently. And so I picked it up. But it's like you're like a series of wizard people. There's a bunch of characters. And it's a side scroller roguelike. And the core component of it is like casting spells a bunch. But you can't just cast any spell you want whenever. You have to rotate them. Like it forces you to rotate what spell you can cast next. You have like a set of 4 of them, and you have one cast button. So it's like it shuffles to the back once you cast it.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
you can
think
like
that's like a
skip
really
around, but you have to use all of them before you can use one again.
yeah. So it becomes like trying to manage and remember which spell is up next, so you know, because they're not all just like this is a thing that goes in front of you. It's like they could be like this is one that you throw a bomb downwards, or like this is one where you throw a glaive in front of you and it comes back. So like you're trying to position yourself to make the best use of the spell casts. And then you have to weave in basic attacks in between because that's how you get your mana back.
Ah, man.
So yeah, I just thought the systems are really cool. I'm not super far into it, but it looks like there's a lot of customization for like how you can set up your build per run. Like you can put modifiers in all your spells. You find modifiers at the run to like add like a proc, like a chance for each hit of the spell can proc like a snowflake to circle your body. to hit things or like throw out some fire or something. I don't know. But a unique enough system that I wanted to bring it up because it's very pretty. The animations are super polished, and it seems pretty fun so far.
I think you can play it co-op as well.
Oh yeah, I saw something. I think it's local only, but it's 2 players.
Local
and there's
only.
yeah, well, you know,
We have the technology.
Yeah.
just to say that you can't buy 2 copies of it and play online multiplayer. You have to.
You can
Parsec
buy
or
one
something.
copy and play online multiplayer.
Yeah. But the main thing I've been playing since the last podcast is Final Fantasy 16.
Mm-hmm.
You finally
Which-
beat it?
I told the boys, what was it, Sunday we were trying to play Remnant?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm so close to finishing Final Fantasy 16, but I'll stop and play Remnant with you. It took
Weren't that
until
close
this
for you?
afternoon to finish Final Fantasy 16.
Wow. All right.
Not that close at all.
No.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
he only played a little bit.
Man, the end of that game is like, you get to a point in the story where you're like, oh, this is like a no turning back, like finish up all the side stuff. Like this is about to be the final boss situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, I go and clean up everything and come back. I do the thing. Another thing happens, and then it throws 14 side quests at you.
Oh my god.
It's not an exaggeration or hyperbole. I counted, there's 14 side quests that drops all at once, right before the actual final boss. Like
Wow.
after I finally finished it all, you go do the final fight, and then it rolls credits. And I was like, was this necessary?
I just see you sitting in front of your TV and you're just like, what?
Yes,
14?
exactly. Because the flow of that game, and they get you, man, because you do like a couple like big cinematic main story things, and then they drop like 2 or 3 side quests on you, and you're like, oh, I guess I'll take a break and go do these side quests. And it's kind of like a nice flowing back and forth for most of the game. If it would have dropped that many side quests at a time earlier, I'd have been like, whatever, I'm just playing the main story. But then at that point, I'm like, well, I did all the other side quests already.
That's where they get you.
I have
Wow.
to finish all these now.
Psychology.
Gosh.
Was it worth it? What do you get?
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't really get
Platinum.
stuff.
Who cares then?
You get story
Jake,
is the
sense of
thing.
pride and accomplishment.
What? Man, it ain't the main story though.
Yeah. So this game is, I really love this game. It'll be on my game of the year list for sure somewhere. But it does have some issues, and some issues are in the side quests, because some of the side quests are labeled with little pluses, and you're like, oh, those are the important ones because you get something from those, like some sort of upgrade or a new ability of some kind or something. And then there's other side quests that are just exclamation points. They're all just exclamation points. And about half of those are terrible things I don't care about at all, or just throwaway filler. And then the other half are like, this is where you get the entire story for this side character.
Oh gosh.
Mm,
So it's very like, is this going to be one of the good side quests or the bad side quests? Am I going to get the emotional like backstory to this tortured childhood of this character, or am I going to go kill a random monster for a merchant that I'll never talk to again?
they
I don't
should
know.
just put like a tag on it, like good, bad.
Yeah.
You know.
But the last set of side quests are mostly all the story heavy ones. And it's basically, I feel like they got to the end of the game and they're like, we have to wrap up so many side stories right now. And then they just dropped all the side quests.
Yeah,
And
they're
they're like,
like,
here is the caps of all these character stories before you fight the final boss.
they played this long. They'll keep playing, whatever.
Yeah. So, I
Actually,
mean,
This is one of the games I also got Black Friday shopping.
yeah.
And I forgot how cutscene heavy it is. Sat down to play it, and I'm like, I had my controller. I was like, yeah, let's get into it. And then I set my controller down. I went and I got a snack. I got a drink. I came back, waited a little while.
Yeah, it's pretty cutscene
It
heavy.
is very cutscene heavy.
That's the other issue I have with that game is like there's pretty heavy disparity between like tiers of cutscene. There's like the clearly mo-capped, like fully facially animated, like high production cutscenes, and then there's like the other ones which are cut back and forth between these two characters with like the facial animations must have been like automated or something. Like the mouths barely matched up with the voice.
Mhm.
And it's like kind of jarring because like sometimes they'll switch between the two and like in the middle of a cutscene they go from like here's the important climactic part and now we need to talk about it for a while, so we're gonna switch to like the cheap cutscene.
The Yakuza problem.
Yeah, it bothered me a little bit, but it is fine for the most part.
I think, and hopefully they don't do this so much, but very early on, this game does a thing a lot where it'll be a cutscene and it'll be like, okay, cutscene's over, you get to push your buttons, go over here, and you go over there and it's like, psych, there's another cutscene over there. There wasn't gameplay. You just walked down a hallway, bitch.
I
Now you're watching
experienced
this
that
cutscene.
like 3 times in the hour that I've started the demo.
Yeah, the demo is like more than half cutscene, I feel like.
Man, it is brutal. And like, if you're just gonna let me walk to a place and do another cutscene,
Just do the cutscene.
just do a cutscene of him walking there. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, just keep
it's very
playing it.
inconsistent
That is
about that. Like sometimes you'll get to an end of a quest and it'll be like, all right, I should go talk to such and such back in the hideaway about this. And it'll just fade to black and then fade up and you're talking to the person in the hideaway. I'm like, great. And then sometimes it'll be like, I should go talk to the person in the hideaway. And then it just pans the camera out and you're standing in a field. And it's like, all right. Gotta teleport back to the hideaway now and go walk to the weird spot that they are standing in there, which takes a little bit, and then talk to them.
Incredible. It's a great game, though. Love it.
I mean, I've been ragging about things I don't like, but it has some of the greatest hype moments. It's very anime, which there's not a lot of anime games that I get to like because usually they're like weird JRPG stuff.
Wow.
Or like
attacking the JRPG lovers out there.
man,
I don't know. It's
brutal.
just like usually genres that I don't get in, or like gacha games or JRPGs or visual novels or something. I don't know. But this is like a full anime game, but it's got combat that I like. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's basically not an RPG, which I mean is fine, unless you like RPGs.
The really fun part of that game is mix and matching abilities. You get to a point where you can swap between 3 icons on the fly in the middle of combat with the left trigger button. And each icon can have 2 abilities assigned, and each icon has 3-4 abilities that you can pick between. And the cool part is if you invest enough experience points into one of the abilities, you get to a point where you've mastered it, and then you can start using it on other icons. So you can really start mixing and matching what abilities you're bringing with you. So
Cool.
The build I had set up at the end of the game is like you have 6 slots essentially, and I had 5 different icon abilities slotted. 2 from one of them, and then like 3 other unique, or 4 other unique ones.
Is Alex the one that's played this?
I've played a little bit.
Do you ever play 15?
No.
I did not play 15. Actually, I've played almost no Final Fantasy games. I played 7, 7 Remake, and a little bit of 16.
I want to know how the combat feels comparing 15 and 16. Because honestly, 15 to me was incredible. So,
If I'm not mistaken, they brought in the combat director from Devil May Cry for this one. It's pretty slick. I don't know how 15 felt, but
I bet you 15 is gonna feel a bit more clunky then.
The combat is so cool in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
once you start understanding all the systems, so like all the enemies, not all the enemies, grunts don't really matter, but big enemies have a stance bar or like a break bar essentially. And all your abilities they're rated for like damage, and they're rated for like break bar damage. So you're trying to set up like a combination of abilities. You're like, all right, I got this big one that's going to do a lot of break bar damage. And then once I stun them, they're like in a stun state for a while. And then I can do my other ability that's regular damage. So that kind of thing. You're going back and forth. By the end of the game, you're not even really using your regular attacks too often. You're stringing together combos that you kind of come up with on the fly. It's really, really cool.
Is it?
Yep.
It's not turn-based combat, is it? It's.
No, it's fully real time.
Maybe I'd play it. The only Final Fantasies I've played, like that aren't 14, are turn-based combat. So
15 has real time, but then there's moments where you can kind of pause combat. You can like tell your allies to do stuff, or you can like set up a move or something like that. Oh,
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Final Fantasy's been moving away from turn-based very, very slowly but steadily for the past several games.
Yeah.
yeah, like with Final Fantasy 9 when they introduced the active, essentially it's turn-based, but it's not turn-based because you wait on how fast somebody can be ready, and some people can be ready faster than other people, so it's not really always in the same order.
That sounds
Yeah.
bizarre.
Let me tell you how stressful that was when I was
Yeah.
like 10, watching my sister try to do this. And then me trying to do it later, playing it on the PC somewhere when they like remastered or whatever. I still haven't beat that game. Because that's crazy. And then in 10, they didn't do that. They just were normal. And then I didn't play 10 too because that was weird. So.
Caleb's favorite.
Good
Is
stuff,
it your
man.
favorite?
Probably,
Is it
right?
because of the dancing?
One of, like, the only two I've
it's like
played.
the idol thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he likes the dresses.
That's not initially why. No.
Okay. Alex, are you feeling
Yeah,
like
I mean, the only other thing I want to say is like at some point my PlayStation needed an update, and I think it just stopped tracking how much time I put into the game because it just sat at 18 hours like for the entire rest of the game because I wouldn't restart my PlayStation to update it.
Is this thing that you can troubleshoot your PlayStation now?
I have like no idea how long it actually took me to beat this game because it didn't have any tracking. How long to beat says main story is 36 hours, completionist is 78 hours, and main plus side is 57 and a half.
wow.
If I had to guess, I'd probably be somewhere around the main and sides because that's basically what I did, but I didn't do everything. So it's probably somewhere around 60 hours.
You didn't do all 14 side quests?
I did do all the side quests, but there's like hunts and a few other things in the game that I haven't done yet. And also, I think I only have like 60% of the achievements or something like that. So I have to look at what I all missed there.
Wow.
Sounds like you've got a lot to do still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back and do it all. Really enjoyable game though.
Maybe I'll add it to my list. All right. Thank you for the WHYBPL. It's time to ask WHYBPL 2. We're running out of people here.
Almost there. Home stretch.
Chad, WHYBPL.
Yeah, so obviously not listed. Crap ton of Fortnite because of OG Fortnite, but we've already talked about it, so I put it on my list. Got to the max rank. That's cool. Invincible presents Adam Eve, the visual novel. Play a little bit more of that. It's just so I don't know, man. Going back to like talking about Invincible in general, like just getting to know the characters, is just so cool. So like having the expanding Adam Eve story, really nice. Once again, it's just like reading a comic book but playing it. Like it's such an interesting way to play a visual novel. I don't know if most visual novels are this way, but I mean it literally has like the panels like that come across and like it's like reading a comic book. It's so cool. There was a fight that I got to where it took me about 15 to 20 tries to do it, and I almost put the game down.
Wow.
I don't know if I just didn't put the perks, like the points in the perks correctly or something, or if this was just a hard fight that was just overtuned or what. But you don't get companions, and it's turn-based, so it's you alone. You have like 100 and something health, and the enemies all have like 200 plus health, and there's 5 of them.
Oh my god.
Have you played this, Caleb?
No, it just
Okay.
sounds that sounds about right.
Yeah, so I mean, you get the ability to where like you can put a shield up and you have 20 to 30 armor, but they blast through that so fast, and when they do that, you take chip damage. Of course, you hit all of them, but I learned very quickly. Obviously not 15 and 20 tries. I learned that taking damage right out the gate, but absolutely like blasting with one of my abilities that uses all of my energy, and it like multiplies how much damage it does with all of my energy to take out like 1 or 2 guys and like take the damage is way better than trying to play very defensively against 5 guys, which is really a backwards way to think about it, because you're thinking 5 guys, I'm alone, I should play super defensively. But yeah, past that, and the rest of the fights have been cakewalks. The story is developing pretty nicely. There's like moments of like X will remember that kind of thing, but you know, it's interesting. You look in your journal and it like reads like, you know, I had a conversation with my mother and she's upset because blah blah blah, and like you can, you know, you see all those notes.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Is this canon? And also, is it different from what we've seen in her special and the show?
It is different from the special because essentially this looks like, from what I understand, Mark just got his powers, and you are seeing this from Adam Eve's side. So like at one point he comes into the picture and he's like in pajamas and he's helping you fight, but like you've never seen him before. And then like I don't know if it's canon because you can also somewhat, from what I can tell, you're like romancing whoever you want kind of thing.
Okay.
Like you could like talk to Rex and like talk him up, which I mean in the show you were like dating Rex to begin with. But you could just be like, I'm whatever, Rex is stupid, I'm gonna hit on Mark a lot, you know,
Rex
like
is stupid.
so.
Confirm.
I'm unlocking more abilities with the points that I'm putting in, so it's, you know, it's making the fights a little easier, and the story is developing pretty well. I think I'm like halfway through. Really neat game for free. That was a good steal on the Prime if you got it. I think it might be available still for free in Prime if you want to redeem it. But like I said, it's great. It's a great visual novel comic book. Another game I've been playing, Lethal Company. Pretty much, you know, play a little bit of Fortnite, and then towards the end of the night, shift over to Lethal Company if the group that I'm playing with wants to play it. I want to play a lot more of it. This game is so fun. It is so enjoyable. I mean, there's a lot of death, a lot of dismemberment, a lot of just jump scares and creepy things happening. Apparently, I found on TikTok, there is unconfirmed, but a mimic in the game which will take the audio, like it'll listen to your audio for a little bit, and it'll take your audio and it'll talk like one of your friends if you are inside of the building, and it'll like say something like "help me," but it'll sound like one of your friends.
That's terrifying.
Horrifying.
That's so scary.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
So like somebody had like a recording of that, like they had a clip of that. The game is just really fun. I mean, jumping around to different planets, going in, just trying to meet the quota. My friend Keo, another friend Matt, and Caleb and I played, and I think we had the luckiest run of our careers. Like, it was ridiculous. We were just constantly meeting the quota. Like, not like we would die, like 1 or 2 of us would die, but like we would just get off the planet safely. Like, it was like we got up to like 9. The quota was supposed to be like 900 and something. That's ridiculous. Like I looked at Matt's timing, and he picked up the game and played with us, and it was 3.5 hours that we were on that run.
Dang.
Like, crazy. Usually runs are like 30 minutes and it's over.
Dead.
Have you been back to any of those farther away planets since then?
I have not, man. That takes so much money to get
It
there.
does.
And then
That
when
place
some
is
idiot
cool,
in your
though.
crew buys a foghorn, you know, just
Worth
the
it.
thing that it
Worth it.
sits in your ship and it just goes, it's like, what is
really
this for?
loud though.
Is it to like help you locate it when you can't see?
Maybe. I
But
don't
somebody's
know.
got to be there to pull it.
Yeah.
It does sound hilarious.
Sounds like
it is.
it's just
Yeah.
meant to add chaos.
Some other idiot buys a toilet. Some other idiot buys a romantic table, and then you're just out of cash. And you're like, we didn't even buy flashlights. Like,
Listen, why did they add a table flip button in Tabletop Simulator? It's the same reason.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
chaos.
that's
Chaos.
good.
Yes.
There's also you can if you're not on a planet or orbiting a planet, you can buy, and if it's in stock, you can buy like different colored outfits. So that's fun
I
too.
was wondering about that because there's always the rack that you can like change your suit on, but it didn't do anything.
Yeah, so you could buy like a hazard suit. At one point when we were playing, I saw a green suit. We had an orange suit. Yeah, so that's orange suit's original. The yellow and the green are the different ones. There's like the teleporters, which are kind of fun to play around with, where one of them just sends you to a random location, one of them pulls you back. Other than that, like, the game is just really fun. I know that they came out with a mod. I've read that there's a mod that you can like take off the player limit. Like this could be like a really fun like Horizon stream night or something where we get like all of us together and just have a fun time.
Yeah, it could be fun.
It's really it's a cheap
this
game too.
time.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like it's $10. It's good stuff.
This one is pretty spoopy.
Yeah, I can't play it. I can watch it, but I can't play it.
I have this one clip on my channel where I'm running down a hallway and I don't have a flashlight, but I'm just like, I want to find stuff. So I'm just running down a hallway and I get to the last door and this like weird looking dog alien just growls and yells at me. And I just jump scared, turn around, have no stamina anymore. I'm just like slowly walking away. Like, don't attack me. Don't attack me.
Speaking of don't attack me.
Nice.
Flawless.
Thank you for the WHYBPL. That does technically end the list of WHYBPLs.
Yeah, we can
It's a
talk
sad day.
about.
Yeah, our bonus thing later.
Yeah.
Wait, there's a bonus thing? Because I technically
group
am on...
one.
Alan Wake.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you guys
wow,
want to talk about that?
wow,
Because I added
wow,
myself to the
Oh,
list.
wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
God, kick him off the cast.
Wait, what's the bonus thing?
Get
Wait,
outta
I
here,
still didn't hear it.
Alex.
Alan Wake 2.
Oh.
Caleb and I played a little bit of it. I didn't play like a ton of it. I was hoping, because I know Aaron has played a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I was hoping we could talk about it. But I haven't played enough to talk about it without him. So we'll
always
talk
push
about it
the,
next
Alright,
time.
well then
We can
Yeah,
talk
next
about it
time.
next time.
let's
Yeah.
switch it to next time, and I'll grab a WHYBPL for like 2 or less minutes.
Ooh.
Because I only play one game. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except maybe for the new viewer. So for the new viewer, my WHYBPL is Final Fantasy XIV. And if you don't know about this game, it's a critically acclaimed MMORPG, Final Fantasy XIV, with an expanded free trial, which you can play through in the entirety of A Realm Reborn, and the award-winning Heavensward expansion, and also the award-winning Stormblood expansion up to level 70 for free with no restrictions on playtime.
Wow,
Chill.
sponsored.
I don't have that
Yeah.
memorized. That is a meme. But it's also
I
true. So, there's that. So I'm not gonna talk about the game itself. I've got 2 things to talk about. One is that as far as like current stuff that I'm actually doing in the game, one is that, I finally reached current content out of every MMO that I've ever played. I'm like doing actual, like we're done with the story. I'm in end level rating, which is cool. Never done that before. Didn't know how sweaty it was gonna be.
Sweaty.
It is rather sweaty. You have to get like a static group with they call it a static. It's like a group of people that you're going to do the content with on a regular basis, because you have to do a fight multiple times before you actually beat it. Their group finder that they have in game is set up so that you can say whether you just want to practice or you're trying to actually beat it. And
is
there's
nice,
restrictions. You can like set up, if you're the one making the group, you can set a restriction so that people who haven't beat it before cannot join your group.
Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. So it
Sounded
can
nice,
get
actually.
pretty.
Yeah.
It's really nice, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of quality of life stuff I think is really well done there. I have only done, I feel like I'm so excited about this, but it's just one fight. I've done the most recent extreme trial that they just released like less than 2 months ago or whatever. I think 6.5 patch went live on like early October. And I have beat that. We did it in 2 sessions of like 3 hours each.
Ooh.
It was rough. And the main thing that I learned that I thought was really cool that I never thought about before ever is that, I've done raiding and stuff in World of Warcraft. That's technically current content, although I've been behind. I'm not like I don't push the current content So I didn't do like mythic rating, I did like regular. And there's boss mechanics and there's a flow to the phases of as you hit we hit 66%, now we're gonna go to the next phase, whatever. 14's fights are not quite the same. I mean, you still got boss mechanics, you still got phase changes. However, if you're doing the right amount of damage, and nobody's died that many times, the entire fight is built around 2-minute intervals, which is, interestingly enough, also built around every class's 2-minute interval of damage burst. So you should be able to do an entire rotation of all of your skills and whatever your rotation is in the 2 minutes that takes for that particular section of the boss. So that's why 14 users or players refer to their trials and raids and stuff as doing the dance, because most of these are you standing in the right spot, hitting the right buttons at the right moment.
That reminds me of Frank.
It's like a
The
dance.
totems, it's dance, man.
Gosh.
No, it's funny because like people were talking about it like that, and I didn't really understand why, but there's actually like reasoning behind it, so I thought that was cool.
Does it also line up with the awesome, epic Final Fantasy soundtrack that's playing in the background?
It does, in fact.
Fight?
So, the 14 composer or producer or person, whoever it is, I know his name, but I don't know like what his title is other than he makes the music.
The Beats guy.
Huh?
The Beats guy.
The Beats guy. The Beats guy. If
Right?
you play, so one of the most satisfying things about doing these fights is that if you time it right, like you're doing all the rotations right, the music is in time with all of the cadences of the battle. So it's extremely satisfying to be playing and like have a phase switch right as the music drops. And it's just really good. Like you'll get shivers. It's very exciting.
The guy that does the 14 music did the 16 music.
Is it so it's Soken?
Yeah.
Masayoshi Soken. Apparently they just did, I actually have updates on this. They just did, I didn't do this. They did a cloud server testing. So they reopened the game. You could like start from the start. And of course the 14 players were like, let's see how many of us can get to fully complete endgame content in the 3 days that this game is open, or these servers are open. However, also, apparently Soken created a character, was in Cloud Test Server 1 in a specific zone at a spot, and he hung out there, and people lined up to like pose and take selfies in game with him. Like you can like search Twitter for this. It's very crazy.
He
He's
like
a bit
logged
of a
his character in and walked away.
Yeah.
Probably.
Going back to the music though, does the 16 music like line up pretty good with the fights that happen?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's all scripted though, so of course.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's all
that makes sense.
cutscene. So, you know.
I mean, the non-scripted fights, yes, they have epic music. I don't know if it feels like everything is like scripted lined up, but there's a lot of like scripted moments in big fights that the music goes super hard.
Yeah, I really like that. I feel like it's something that other MMOs that do like these large fights, that these major accomplishments that require so many people to succeed and do, especially with like the pushing the progressive content. They really like miss out on the ability to do extra storytelling and like artistic impact. I don't know the right word for this. Environmental like feeling. Like that's a big
Guild Wars
one.
in a while, from as far as I tell, they don't have any background music really playing.
Yeah, the
playing
sound like
during
the
a
sound
raid.
is just not there, and it could be.
I mean, the sound is your raid leader screaming at you to get the bomb out of the middle, or get to this corner.
That's the other thing. No one said a word. The entire fight. We explained the mechanics beforehand, and then nobody says anything the whole fight. You just do the stuff in order. Like the fight starts, and you're like, okay, go forward, then left, then back to center. Then everybody stands there. Make sure the tank's in the front. Then, you'll split into here. You're going to be C1. You're A4. Like, everybody knows where they're going to go in advance. That's why it's, like, dance-like. We would do, like, WoW raids. I said this was going to be 2 minutes. All right, anyway.
How many spheres are there, though?
Yeah.
How many
Any
screaming?
orbs?
Any orbs? Any balls?
It's a joke. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Okay, I was about to say, like, there
Maybe some
are. Like,
globes.
I don't know how to explain this. You want to tell me the mechanics? Because I will. Anyway, fight was
Destiny
fun.
loves their balls.
I would say that the best parts of these fights, in my opinion, are also the most frustrating, which are raid wipe mechanics, because everybody has to do it right, or you got to do the whole fight over again. And the one we did was placing meteors that are going to land on you. But you have to make sure that they don't touch any other meteors when they
Is
land.
Luna.
Because if
Ah.
they do, you wipe the whole raid. If you like succeed in that, but you're still too close to where it like launched from, just you will die. So like if there's a choice between you're gonna die or wipe the whole raid, you pick you die. And you tell people so they can res you. I did that a couple times. It was my fault. I was placing the meteors wrong. They have like diagrams for this. Anyway, other thing that I wanted to do, and I don't know if this is going to go well. Now we did all this talking, and that was good. I was going to give you the very rapid fire. So every time I come across something stupid or funny, I make these FF updates that I send to my friends. I'm not going to read them to you, but I just want you to know that this is what's happened in the last week that I did with my character. And this gives you the scope of the kind of game this is. We've got all this end content. We've got a great story. Obviously, we've got great music. Also, you're going to do things like help a guy find a bottle of wine which doesn't exist, so you're going to fake it for this other guy to get an even more expensive bottle of wine, which we did. I helped a very small troll gain the power of speech. During a fight, one of my teammates just jumped off the edge of the platform, middle of the fight, and then typed in the chat, "Intrusive Thoughts 1." My favorite so far, this was a quest storyline. We got a message from aliens, and the engineers that got the message were like, "Hey, remember this raid boss that you fought 3 expansions ago? We think he can translate it." And I'm like, "But it's dead. I killed it." Right? Wrong. He's still around. He did help, which was
Off-screen
interesting.
death.
You can call a dragon. You can just tell a dragon mean things to get him to do cool stuff for you. That's happened 5 different times, and that has worked every time. So in case you ever need a dragon to do cool things for you, just tell them how bad they are. I helped start a robot rave party at the end of the universe, and now I'm trying to stop
suggests
nightmares around
The
the
end
world.
of the universe happened.
Maybe. You can go there.
Okay, it's a place.
And the last but not least is
Like
apparently
Flat Earth, but
my most recent escapade is to stop nightmares from happening in small children by accompanying a flying pig that flies with its wings to sniff out the nightmares and eat them.
somehow I feel like you've made
Makes
all of
sense,
this way
like
more
truffles.
interesting than it actually is in the
So
game.
this is why, going back to the very beginning, why I should be working for Square Enix. I just give you like 6 different updates. They're not the fully written out ones. I'm on 88. Number 88 of these updates. And I've only been
Wow.
doing this since Stormblood, so we missed Heaven's Word and ARR. There's a lot
Dang,
of
you missed
dumb, crazy... This game is full of anything you could think of, but if you don't like JRPGs where you have to like do a cutscene and then walk 5 feet and then do another cutscene like you're talking about earlier, you're not gonna like this game, because there's a lot of that.
Can we expect the published FF memoirs at some point in stores near you?
Well, actually, I was thinking about making these into comics, so yes.
Ooh.
I
The
think some
way-
of them would be good.
The way you're talking about it, you do sound like one of those people who's being paid to be on camera talking about how cool the game is.
I wish.
It's like one of the Bungie video logs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're about to have
Talking
her
about how
become a
cool Bungie
sponsor,
is.
like sponsored by
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know,
Final
so the
Fantasy
people
because
tell
they
me
watch our podcast.
that, you know, when I talk about things I'm very excited about, people are like, "Oh, you should like market for this." I'm like, "Yeah, but I can only do that for things I actually like." If you became a marketer, they were like, "Get into marketing." I'm like, I can't, because if I don't believe in it, I can't lie.
Gotta make yourself
You
believe
should
in it.
buy Coke.
Get into
It
marketing for
tastes
something you believe in.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Oh, I
that
thought you
would be
meant something
ideal.
else.
You should
Anyway.
buy Coke.
You should buy
That was an
Methamphetamine.
interesting
Sleep
place
again.
to start.
yeah, so that's my WHYBPL. And if I ever show up on this podcast again, this is what this is, right? It's a podcast.
You got
Maybe I'll have more updates in rapid fire ways. The whole point of these updates is to be as vague as possible to get you excited about not understanding what the spoilers are that I just gave you, so that even though you know some things, you still want to know like how that's going to happen.
I might be willing to give it a try.
You could, and if you
Oh.
like it and you need to be carted around, I have a multi-person mount, so you don't have to walk all the
Oh
way.
my gosh.
That's
Sick.
ridiculous.
I'll give you a call if I need a cart.
All right, good to know. Good to know. That's my WHYBPL. We're talking about that other thing next time. Well, I'm not going to repeat because people are going to forget about it. And
Yeah, that's
So-
how you get them to forget about it.
yep.
Aw.
Does that make this the end? Do I get to do like the end?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're done.
Do the
Okay,
end speech.
so this was supposed to be said at the beginning, and I forgot. We highlighted it, so I ignored it. I told you not to make it yellow.
Listen, Alex in post can take this and put this at the
No,
beginning.
don't do
Oh,
that.
true,
Don't do that,
true.
because I'm going to alter it to sound like the ending. Okay. So, now that you've listened to us for whatever hours it was,
Like almost 3.
thank
Almost,
you
yeah.
for listening. We appreciate it as always. You guys are great. Viewers, listeners, whoever you are. Thank you for allowing me to be on here as this pseudo host. Sorry, Aaron. And now I'd like to read what was written from before. If you'd like to know more about what we do, you can follow us on our social channels, or you can check out our website at wearethehorizon.com. There's no dashes there. That just sounded like there were, but it's all one. It's We Are the Horizon. Like all.
Yeah, you don't want to
there's
say
no-
it that fast though. You gotta.
Yeah,
Space it
the
out.
first part was for enunciation. The second part is for clarification. That website is where we have a ton of original content for you to browse, including this. This is also original content.
Yes.
And that includes our multi-arc Starfinder adventure, not mine, yours, all of y'all's. The Discordant Signal. That sounds cool.
Not
Additionally-
listen to. Wow.
Everything we talk... What?
Wait, we make a D&D thing? What?
Additionally, everything that is talked about here is in our cast notes, which are pushed out to whatever podcasting app that you're using. Thanks for listening, and unless anyone else has something to say, that's it from me.
WHYBPL.
WHYBPL.
Boom.
See ya.